Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another live unboxing and discussion. Um, and as always, technical difficulties, if you can imagine. 30 minutes ago, I turned on my laptop and it's working on updates. So, it says 76% complete. Don't turn off your computer. And oh, I've learned a long time ago. If it tells you don't turn off the computer during an update, you don't turn off the computer during an update. So, um, good morning to those of you out here. Good afternoon to those of you out there, and good evening to those of you way out there. I've got my cell phone turned backwards here so I can see the chat on the screen here as I'm filming until I can get access to YouTube on my computer, which is now 78% complete, 79% complete. So maybe within the next hour, we might get that thing turned on. So, again, welcome to the channel. I enjoy you guys checking in with me every Saturday, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Some of the things that I've done this week, I've got my Deadpool 2 finally, Dusty version that came in from Sideshow, all the way from sunny California where I live. I finally got it, and I think, like again, I've said before, I believe I'm probably the last person on the planet ever to get anything from Sideshow. I don't know what the deal is with that. Um, so I don't remember if I'd finished these things before, but I've pretty much finished my. Let's get some light on this. I've pretty much finished my Obadiah. He's good to go now. And I've got my Loki up here with the Mark 6. I hope you guys can see these because now I've got the camera turned around the other direction so I can't see what's going on. Got Stan and up there, Near Automato up there. I think I've already showed you those. And over here, I've pretty much completed the Vampirella and Lady Death shelf. Started my Guardians of the Galaxy 2 shelf. That's kind of my associated assembling of pieces that really don't belong right now. Kind of the Infinity Wars down there. We've got Captain America Infinity War down there, and Black Widow, and T'Chaka with the Chitauri from Avengers. I don't know what he's doing down there, and the original Doctor Strange. My Deadpool shelf. I've added the original Guardians up here on my Avengers shelf, and I've taken, my second Star Lord. So it's from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Star Lord, and I kind of made him out to be like the Guardians of the Galaxy original Star Lord. I did a little customization with his shelf over there. I guess I could talk about that real quick. I don't know if anybody's with me yet this morning. If you are, welcome again. I hope I'm not boring you to death. I couldn't see any chat that you might have posted there, but I'll show you what I did with this shelf here. So, this originally, well, let me show you. I also did the Rocket and Groot a little differently too. You might be interested in these little enhancements or customizations that I performed on these figure stands. So this was a Rocket figure stand. Or no, let me take that back. This was the Star-Lord figure stand from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So it had the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 sticker on there. And I ripped off the sticker. So I just took a razor blade or X-Acto knife actually and just went around the edges really carefully, loosened it up and just peeled it up. And then I took this same sticker off of the Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy base and just placed it right on here. Now, why is that important? Well, because I didn't have a regular Guardians of the Galaxy for my Star-Lord. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Star-Lord. But I think it kind of accurately represents the first movie Star-Lord. Rocket came with this little 4-plug with a little bitty figure stand that went in there. So I took this one out of, I don't remember what this came from. Could be a Vision. I don't remember, but these things are really rare. And all of these bases have the 4 holes in them to accept any one of these. All right, so even if there's only 2 slots on there, it's really there, and you can just poke it right through. But the Rocket already had them in there, and I wanted this for him. So I put this in there, and then, you know, obviously, as you can see, he's assembled as such. Now, so what did I do with Rocket? It, you know, famously is on top of Groot in the movie. And so he came with that. This Groot came with that, but it came differently. It came with a piece that I'm planning on using for my Red Wing and Falcon. So you were supposed to put this on the thick figure stand and then put Rocket's posing stand through here and then put him up there. I didn't like that. Well, like I said, besides I'm using it for Red Wing. So what I did was I took the extra piece from the Mark 41 Bones set, which has these 2 arms that come around and they're clamped onto, and I disassembled that, just totally disassembled it. Took that piece, which had the piece that would go up to the head posing stand for Bones, screwed it into the 2 holes. This one originally was, well, I unscrewed one of those little, you know, the little flat pieces that come down the back of this right here. So you've got this little piece here. I unscrewed that, flipped it over, screwed that into the holes where that go, and now I have an articulated pose stand for Rocket. And I don't remember where this came from. It may be a King Arts. It may be, I don't remember where this came from, but this just pops in and out. So this doesn't screw in to these 2 areas here. This just sits there and just sits here. So it's either from my King Arts Ant-Man or Yellow Jacket, or it's from the Spider-Man Homecoming, one or the other. I'm thinking it's from probably the King Arts. So it worked out well. I've got Rocket up there where we see him on top of Groot. And so that was the customization that I did this last week as I play with my toys, as you can imagine. So I hope I didn't bore you guys too much with that. I'm sorry I couldn't see any of the chat that was going on. I'm at 81% complete on YouTube over there. And let's get going with Dusty Deadpool. Good old Dusty Deadpool. Hot Toys released an amazing video this week talking about, well, what they do and their business and all of that. And I learned a lot from that video. If you guys can hear me now. Get back over here. I learned a lot from that video. I knew that all the head sculpts were hand painted, but I didn't know everything that they had involved in regards to how they go about doing things, and J.C. Hong's relationship with Howard Chan and Hot Toys, and it was just really nice, really neat little video. I recommend it, watching it, if you want to know more about Hot Toys and how they do things differently than the rest of the universe. One of the things that they said was that they've pretty much secured the rights for all the Marvel movies for pretty much life, as long as things don't change with who owns Marvel. That's cool. They're saying that they spend 10 days researching a figure before they start doing anything. Approximately, I'm sure that changes with different figures. They may need more research than others. And one of the things that has become kind of like a word in our society now is Hot Toys quality. So us as collectors have started using that term in comparison or in discussion of our figures and such. So from my understanding, this is pretty much Deadpool 2 Deadpool, only embellished. So one of the things that I've discussed before, and I don't know if anybody really realizes, is that all of these figures truthfully are hand painted. So the head sculpts are totally 100% hand painted, and then every figure is embellished. Well, I assume probably like Spider-Man Homecoming suit is not embellished, but any little things that you see on there are put on there by hand. You know, they'll put a brush stroke on there to turn this red, which is the original color of it, into this darker, I don't know, used red. Or they'll take a little silver brush stroke and put the little marks on the knees here to give it a used or battle damaged effect. And that's called hand embellishing. So whenever a collector or somebody who's not familiar with the hobby will say, "Oh man, $300! That's stupid to pay for this toy." Well, it is a toy, but it's also truly a work of art that should be revered. So take comfort in knowing that somebody actually physically had to put this in the position it was. It just didn't come off an assembly line 100%. An artist actually spent time on this, putting this together. So the whole thing is grainy. It's just one grain. There's no differentiation on anything on this. It just feels like just like sandpaper. It's a little less grainy here across the word, but not so much so. And I don't mean less like as in purpose. I mean less as in like maybe they just didn't spray as much on there. Maybe there's some areas that feel kind of like that where it's less, but for the most part, it just feels all grainy all over. So I'm surprised that there's so many accessories with this. Normally, whenever it's a repaint, like people like to call it, there wouldn't be so many accessories. But I don't like the term repaint whenever a figure like this is created. Yes, they took this figure and repainted it. I can't argue with you on that. But unlike the Mark 7 line of figures, where they literally just took a Mark 7 Mark 7 original cast and then cast it in white or cast it in black or something on that line, and it wasn't in the movie, that you can call a repaint. Even though they didn't repaint it, they really cast it. All the pieces were cast. They didn't take like a bunch of old stock that they had laying around. Let's say they made, I don't know what the quantities are. Let's say they made 10,000, and that's probably way more than they actually make Mark 7 figures, and they had 3,000 of them laying around. I'm like, oh, what are we going to do with these 3,000 figures? Well, let's just paint them white. And that didn't work that way. They're actually cast in those colors. They're done specifically with purpose of doing that. So a lot of times when they do that, they won't have so many accessories. But there's a lot of accessories in here still, nonetheless. So you get a full-on figure no matter. Trainee, that's funny. Cast and crew, let's see, who do we have specifically here? Head painted by J.C. Hong, sculpted by Ko Jun. Accessories are sculpted by Andy Chang. So there's your artists involved with this. And I like the Deadpool storyline. I like the storyline. I like the figure. I know very little about him from the comics. I didn't recognize that Deadpool was Deadpool in the X-Men storyline, so I didn't get all that. Okay, so there's something taped to the back of the box here, and I don't know why it's taped. Oh, I see what it is. You know what that is? That's the duct tape that you can put onto him, because remember, he's all duct taped up. So that is literally just sheets of strips of duct taping so that you can duct tape him. D-U-C-T, duct tape. There's also a company called Duck Tape, D-U-C-K, who makes duct, D-U-C-T, tape. That's pretty cool. And you know, I always dig these little things, like comes with the Mark 36 and the Mark 41. It kind of pisses me off sometimes. It's like, I don't want to have to put stickers onto my figure that I just paid $300 for. But then sometimes I'm also glad that they gave it to me nonetheless. So it'll be cool to have those on there. I will do that. And I suppose you could also, if you wanted to, put them onto the regular Deadpool that came out as well. So, gosh, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Nobody's chatting, it appears. I don't see any chat. I hope you guys are there. Hope I'm not just talking to myself. Yeah, doesn't matter. I like playing with my toys. You guys are now obviously welcomed into my home on the channel here. I'm glad to have you, but I'm playing with my toys no matter whether you're with me or not. I mean, they're my toys. I want to play with them. So, again, we have, looks like the exact same hands from the Deadpool 2, which pretty much are the exact same hands from Deadpool. Thumbs up, okay, pointing fingers, and, you know. So you've got thumbs up and okay, a couple different pointy fingers here. Oh, hey, chat's popped up. Bingity bingity bing. So we got Noble Young and NK saying, how you doing? Hey Siri, how you guys doing? NK, how you doing? The chat's not saying that for some reason. It just pops up whenever somebody actually says something. So if I'm off course, guys, hey, let me know. We got fists, we got gun holding hands. Oh, it was knocked off one of those little stabby things, and we got some grasping hands. I have no idea what to do with these little stabby things. They don't go into the figure. They don't. I don't even know what to do with these little things. Fine. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing great. I'm doing great, NK. Thank you very much. I don't have any idea what to do with these little things. These little bitty stabby ones. Every one of my Deadpool, Hot Toy Deadpools, came with these, and I really don't know what to do with them. No idea. I think that they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be these little things. Set up my 1/4 scale Mark 45 with the battle damage custom head, but its light is not. I didn't catch all the rest of that chat because it faded away. I think it's supposed to be these little pieces right here in his chest, but I don't know. I don't know, guys. If that's what it goes to, it looks great. Have you received the concept art Mark 46? I have not. I just got notification from Hot Toys that it's going to be shipped to me. So the Dusty Deadpool sent me notification 3 weeks ago, and it finally came. You know, it's so funny. Like I said, I live here in California. Sideshow's in California, and it takes them 3 weeks to send me anything or more. So I don't know. I don't know what I did to piss Sideshow off so much. Oh well, who cares? Anyhow, I think that's what they go to, but they don't come in and out. I don't know. I have no idea what to do with them. So, yes, I got the Mark 46 concept coming. I've got the Loki Thor Ragnarok coming. And I got notification that my cable is coming. So I will be happy to show that. My 1/6 scale cable from Deadpool 2. Thanos as Cable. 89% complete. Don't turn off your computer. Whatever you do, don't turn off your computer. I'm telling you. You ever doing an update, you don't want to turn off your computer. So here's the little neck controller, which turns off the X-Men's powers that are given to them. And I've got original Deadpool holding this. And you can tell, same thing again. It's actually the same piece here, only this one has green dots, all right, and this one has red dots. Hey, any new pickups? The Dusty Deadpool 2, and I've got coming, it's actually supposed to arrive today, the Loki Thor Ragnarok. And I got notification that my Mark 46 concept is coming from Sideshow in a couple of weeks. And I got notification that my Deadpool 2 cable is coming in a couple of weeks. So this is my new pickup, my Dusty Deadpool. But as you can see, it's the same thing, only it's been embellished with the gray soot from the explosion or the fire. And it's got the green dots compared to the red dots. So, however you want to display that. Let's put him back over here. And we have his firearms. Weren't these supposed to be like Desert Eagles that he packs? These pistols. I'm not a gun guy, and I don't mean that in a negative manner. I just mean that I don't know that much about firearms. I own firearms. I have shot firearms. I've served in the service. I have nothing wrong with firearms. I just don't know that much about them. So, again, exact same firearms, only painted dusty. Mondo Batman, I bet that's cool. LP, it faded out so quick I couldn't, I'm sorry. Sorry, I totally butchered that name. Yeah, so black, original Deadpool, dusty painted gray. So literally, some artist, the accessory sculptor, which I read his name off earlier, painted this for you. He took time, or she, and threw some paint on there and painted this just for you. Only firearm an M16. I'm not even familiar with those. I couldn't tell you the difference between an M16, an M14, and an M1. I could not tell you the difference. I know it goes bang, 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 and it's a rifle. So here you go, hand painted. And this, I don't know if this was done any different. And what's cool about Hot Toys firearms is, and I'm shooting my mouth off, literally, before checking it out. But most of the times, the clip comes out, or the magazine. So let's see if this magazine will come out. Yep. The magazine comes out. There's a little round in there that doesn't actually come out, but it's there. And you should be able to rack the slide. I'm probably using this terminology incorrectly, but sure enough, there you go. And you can see right through there. Had to clean out all time, although I'm starting to forget, been a long time. So you can see right through, oh, in your M16. And you can see right through there because the clip goes all the way through. And when you slide the clip in, you can see the round in the chamber ready to be discharged. And that's pretty much commonplace when they do these Hot Toys little figures. But there have been occasions where that wasn't the case. But for the most part, you're going to get that really finely detailed. And I don't know if other 1/6 accessories or firearms are done like that. I imagine not. Well, think about that. For them to do that, I mean, who really cares? But they do. And if you want to do that with your firearm, you're welcome to. In your role playing or in your if you wanted to do creation of little movies or whatever you want to make, you can literally have them changing out the clip. You can literally have them with a racked, emptied, barrel or whatever. However you want to do it, you have that ability. They did that. That's crazy. That's awesome. Here's his, what do you call these things? Katanas? Bex, BCS. And again, same thing, exact same sword, just hand embellished. So it's been painted silver over it. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but those two are actually painted just a little bit differently. So that means mine are going to be different than yours. Hukata Matata, who was that from the Kill Bill? Is that the name of the guy? Hot Boys are dedicated. Yes, they are. They certainly are. So this again has been hand embellished. My swords are going to be painted differently than your swords, and that is just cool to me. I mean, it's like literally, I mean, they have no idea who this is going to when they're making it, but they know that it's going to somebody who's going to love their figures so much that they're going to take a little bit of dedicated time to getting it together. Oh, look at that. 30 minutes. An hour. It took an hour for my computer to get to the logon screen. Oh, man. I'm not even going to screw with it. I'm just going to try to keep chatting with you guys here. I hope this camera is fine. Here's the eyes. And I imagine, again, not to be beating the dead horse, but again, we're looking at hand-embellished eyes. Right there. Same eyes that we've had since the original Deadpool. So this piece, I don't know how collectible, or, well, I don't know about that. I want to say, I don't know how much collectors are going to want this piece. Here's his little coin. It's one of those that'll probably be like for hardcore or specialty people. Which is good, I assume, as far as I'm concerned, because that means there's going to be less of them out there. And I imagine, you know, because, for instance, they'll announce a hot toy like they just announced the director from Rogue One. And by the way, I am a Star Wars fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan, love Star Wars. Rogue One was an amazing movie. I cried like a baby at the Rogue One. What an amazing movie. But they've made the director, and so they've announced it now. It's January. I don't remember when the release date is, but it's so far down the road that they got a pretty good idea of how many of these to make based off of pre-sales. And I have a feeling that there wasn't many of these Dusties made. So, what does that mean? That means later on down the road, they're going to be worth a little bit more than the regular Deadpools because they made a lot of those. What do I do with my garbage can? So we get the subway tokens here that Cable put on them. One with a bullet hole in it. Or, well, not in it. So there's the little subway token. Gosh, dang, I just flipped that all the way across the room. And here it is with the indent from the bullet that Cable put into his outfit there. Ah, yes. Here we go. And that is your time machine device. In general, these are very good detailers. Man, I wish I had about the War Machine. Hot Toys tease the purchase Mark 3 War Machine. God, man, I wish that. Yeah. I seen that, the Punisher thing. I seen that tease on that. This is the, you know what? I'm speculating that this is the device that they're using to get back and forth in time in Marvel's Avengers Endgame. This is really cool. Can you guys see that? That's cool. I like that. That's neat. Here we go. The magnetic piece for the katanas. Fits on the back. Again, hand embellished. And the chat. I wish I could read the chat. I need to go. Let me take a minute. Log into my computer here. Sorry, guys. My life seems to be technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking with me. Oh, what in the world down? This computer. I'm not going to spend much time trying to screw with this, guys. I'm going to spend just a quick few minutes. if I can get this to come on here. I'm terribly sorry, guys. All right. So let's get him out of the box. Like waiting till the last minute to get him out. I'm digging this. So one of my complaints was that I felt that this was too big of a token for the hand, and I still feel that way. I still feel that this token is larger than it's supposed to be. Most Subway tokens are about the size of a quarter, and I guarantee you this is bigger than a quarter. If we were to hold this in his hand, to get a good size comparison, I have a feeling we will see that it's larger than it should be. I may be wrong. It may be right on target, but I think it's supposed to be smaller. And I addressed that in my preview video. So there it is in the palm of his hand. And I think that's larger than a quarter. I don't think a quarter should take up that much of your hand, especially in a man's hand. If it was a younger person or a normal size, average size female whose hand is smaller, it may look that big, but no, I just think that's too big. So, where are we at? That was one thing I complained about. The other thing I complained about was, in the movie, this belt buckle is supposed to be shiny. It did not get dustified. And the reason that I find this to be a problem, that they did this to the figure, is that they had to paint that. So they started off with this, with the shiny belt buckle, and Howard Chan or JC Hong or somebody gave the word to paint it, and it ain't supposed to be painted. It's supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. Check the movie out and you'll see it's nice and shiny and clean and sparkly. The rest of them was totally covered in dust. That the dust didn't adhere to. So I got a problem with that. That's the two things that kind of bother me about this figure. And that's it. So if you didn't get a Deadpool and you wanted to add him to your collection, you can. I don't know if he's still available or not. Or if you want to just get, as I'm doing, anything that's Deadpool related for the most part. I would like to get a Negasonic Teenage Warhead or whatever her name is. See if we can get back over here onto this. So I can actually read some of the chat. Get logged into YouTube over there. Juggernaut? I would love to get a Juggernaut. Oh my God, could you imagine? He would be a beast. An absolute beast. I would love the Deadpool core. I bought the Gentle Giant collectible statuettes of from the Deadpool cores, which came with a bust of the Deadpool Kid, which is different from Kid Deadpool. And it came with the squirrel pool. It came with an additional. It came with a head pool and a dog pool. So I got two dog pools, got two head pools. Got the Sideshow Deadpool. I got Lady Katana, which is Lady Deadpool. Like I said, I don't know much about Deadpool from the comics, but I'm digging the Deadpool universe from the movies. Really digging that. So this is a lot of figure stand that you can use here. Again, here's these valuable pieces, and I get to make the decision whether I'm going to use this for him, which is literally a flight pose, which is great because you can put him into, he's very nimble, I guess is the word that I would use to describe him, or dexterous. He can really hop around, so you can put him into like a flying, jumping pose, even though he doesn't fly. You know, you can really just pose him as such. Man, I hate technical difficulties. I figured 30 minutes should be plenty to get this computer turned on. No, we're looking at 45 minutes here, or yeah, almost an hour. It's been over an hour. It's been an hour and 10 minutes since I turned this computer on. This is stupid. I hate life, man. So, it's got the little comics on there that he was drawing. That's cool. But you can take this out. It's actually screwed in. So down at the bottom is a little screw. You want to unscrew that and then just pop this off. And if you want to just use them in a standing pose, you can then just put just a regular stand in there. And then you can use these guys, which I call very valuable and rare, for, you know, actually putting a figure into a real flight or pose as such. If you don't want to do your Deadpool like that, if you do want to do your Deadpool like that, you can do that too. Oh, God. Yes, I told you to open. Really? So that's neat. And wrist pegs, black wrist pegs, and what the hell? These little things, I never know even what they really are. So someplace I imagine there's probably a button or latch on him that probably falls off. Almost makes me wonder, like, they're like, here you go, son, I made this toy at work. Go ahead and play with it for a week and tell me what breaks on it. And anything that breaks, they write up into the instruction manual or they give you an extra piece on. It's almost the way it seems to me. I may be far off. Lobster claw. I may be far off in that, but I may be right on target in regards to that. Because it sure is funny that when they tell you this is going to break or that is going to break, there ain't no joke. It will break. Or if it'll get damaged in your posing. They are not kidding you one bit. And let's see, what does it say in here? MMS 505 Dusty version Deadpool 2. Don't poke yourself with the dagger or the katana because they're sharp. Do not excessively bend the arms and legs or bend them outward, otherwise the figure will be damaged. Do not place or store the magnet parts near battery compartments. The outfit is non-detachable. Don't try to take the outfit off. And shows you how to put the little duct tapes on there that we were talking about. They come with that. How to put the little magnetic head on there. How to put the time machine on his wrist. How to put the coin in his hand. How much articulation he has. Different eye that you can use, and where the weapons go, etc., etc., etc. So that is Dusty Deadpool. Do you want to allow the following program? Oh, geez, just because I didn't answer it quickly enough, it told me I couldn't. Oh my God. Welcome to reality, right? Sheesh. I'm so sorry, guys. Seems to be my mantra. But everything on him, they just gave him a little brush of silver or gray and just painted the whole suit as such. Because you can see here where there's still a lot of the red that wasn't painted over. Can you see that? You can see the red through there. Right there. A lot of red still on that. There, it's heavy on the silver dust. You know, what I like about this too. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Use a token for Two-Face. Ooh. Did Two-Face not come with a token? It's almost sacrilegious for Two-Face not to come with a token. Oh, look at this. Google Chrome is finally coming up. Give me a YouTube channel. Please. Stop teasing me. You're killing me here. I swear, I cannot believe this computer. My desktop is amazing. This laptop is crappy. Toshiba. Don't buy a Toshiba laptop. You have been warned. Should you buy a laptop from Toshiba, you will be dissatisfied. No doubt about it. Other figures that I have that I've not opened up yet. Got plenty of time. I can grab something else. Let's put him here. Let's put him over here. Of course, Dusty Deadpool will have a nice little spot. Dusty Deadpool. All of my figures are dusty. All of them are dusty, not just Deadpool. I've got the Dusty Hot Toys collection. Would you like to see my Dusty Hot Toys collection? Come on, where's my oh my goodness. We're so close. Oh my god. Hey, what's this? Could be coming on? Is it possible that I could actually have some chat? And turn the camera around? I don't know if the other camera's better. Some of you guys have seen my Daphne from Scooby-Doo that I put together. This is Velma. And it's done by the Flirty Girl, which makes accessories for figures, especially Bison figures. And that's what I put that together on. And I bought this several months ago. And it comes with all the little accessories to make Velma. Now, the glasses are inside here because she wears these really thick glasses. The shoes are not the right shoes that she wears, but they're close enough. Got the orange sweater, the little reddish skirt, and a head sculpt inside of there, which I don't know how much it looks like her. Let's have a peek. Got the short hair that she has. I didn't think the Daphne looked that much like her, so I put a different sculpt on her. Let's see how this looks. It kind of looks like Velma, I think. If you guys remember the Scooby-Doo cartoon, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby-Scooby-Doo, what was it? Scooby-Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Put this back in here. So I'll be putting that together one of these days. I'd like to find all the other little pieces, which may or may not ever come, ever. I've got Rocket and Yondu over there. Talked about before. Chitauri Soldier and Commander Thor. Gosh dang it. What do I do? What do I do? You know what? I'm gonna. I don't know what to open up. Let me just open a Rocket because I kind of want to get my Rocket out. I swear I'm over here looking at this snake chasing his tail on my computer, trying to get YouTube up. I love you guys, man. I really do. Thanks for sticking with me. You guys are tops. You guys are tops. So, Awesome Mix Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, this is Rocket. I don't remember if there was two versions of him. This says MMS 411, 1/6 scale collectible figure. I don't remember if there. Okay, it does say deluxe version, right there. Deluxe version. Lux. Y'all been watching Lucifer? Netflix, based off of the. It's based off of the DC Comics line called Lucifer. So who we got? So Young Lee is the head sculptor. Head painted by J.C. Hong. Head and body art director J.C. Hong. Accessory sculptors by Edmund Lung and Oliver Lee. And accessory supervisor Oliver Lee. Let's get this out of the box. That computer over there, man, I swear. Two head sculpts, little baby Groot, little hands, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, base, again with the same. So on this one I'll probably put him, I don't know. I might put him wearing his little rocket vest. Not sure. Oh my God, is this out of focus? Holy crap. Oh, shit. Coffee. Double crap. Son of a bitch. How come nobody told me this thing was out of focus, guys? So you guys have been watching out of focus camera this entire time? Sheesh. What a drag. Sorry about that, man. Oh my God. I'm going to have to get a towel to clean up this coffee right now. This hardwood floor soaks it up. Welcome to life, guys. What a crappy out of focus video. So sorry. So many levels. Damage control, damage control. Damage Will Robinson. Danger Will Robinson, danger. Jeez. Give me just a quick minute, guys. I've got to get this coffee up. I've seriously customized my Deadpool 2 dusty box now. That's where the coffee splashed. And on the floor. Oh, man, man, man. Sheesh, what a morning. WTF. Alright, let's see. Get this thing onto the live section. Is that live? Is this still out of focus? God, are you kidding me? Fuck my life. All right. All right. Just use your reliable one. Want to pick Pikachu? Yeah. Want to pick up that Mondo Batman, the Emperor? Maybe. You're good. Is that live chat? I hope so. Is that what you guys are actually saying right now? We see you. Focus. What the hell? Come on, man. Is it focusing in? Focus is good? Good. Was it good before? Did I just do all that for no reason at all? And totally screw up everything for no reason? I got coffee underneath my Hulkbuster. Yeah. Sorry guys, if I don't get this coffee up, it'll soak into this hardwood floor. And I will have a seriously bad stain that my wife will kill me over. And I like my life. I don't want my wife to kill me. And I just mean that metaphorically. My wife ain't gonna kill me. I don't have any fear of that. You guys don't have to worry about me. Trust me. My wife and I have the best relationship. She's tops. I tell you, man, if you find somebody that really loves you, and I mean they really love you, you will be on top of the world. But yeah, I pretty much just customized this Deadpool box, by the way. It has been coffeeized. So in the future, should you ever find this dusty Deadpool on the market, this box has had it. So I might be in the market for a dusty Deadpool box. I know guys sometimes sell these. I bought the extra Doctor Strange box because my Doctor Strange box came jacked up, and that was a cool box. So I had to buy another one of those so I could have a cool box. And even that one came jacked up, and I had to customize the box. I had to take two boxes to make one box. What an ordeal. What an ordeal. Sorry about that, guys. What a waste of morning. I hope you don't feel that way. I hope you don't feel that I wasted your time. Terribly sorry about all this, guys. Really am. Let's see what chat's going on. You the boss. Thanks, Robert. You're awesome, man. Why drinking coffee near the PC? Well, the PC is actually up on the shelf, and the coffee was on my table here. Why am I drinking coffee next to my Hot Toys figures? Is the real question. The hell's wrong with me? Thanks for sticking with me, guys. I love every one of you, like I've said before, and then I mean it. No joke about that. Little Rocket, man, he doesn't get much love from people. I like Rocket. He's a little snarky and he loves his weapons. I like it whenever they call him those stupid little names, like Thor. What do you call him? Your rabbit? When they go to, was it nowhere? No, they weren't going to nowhere. Where were they going? Oh yeah, they were going to where the weapons are forged by the giant dwarf from Game of Thrones. Oh, I've got a loose thread here. Right there. Let's get the scissors out, take care of that. Of course, if you collect Hot Toys figures, you know you have to have super glue, scissors, knives, all sorts of things to keep your figure straight. You don't want to pull that thread. That'll unravel. So I don't know how much he differs from original Rocket. I don't want to take him off here. It took so much difficulty to get him posed just right. But I I am curious how he compares. All right, so original Rocket is kind of a lightish brownish, almost a gray, and this Rocket is a brownish gold. Let's get the comparable head over here. You don't see that? Almost looks like two different figures all together. It's kind of like Captain America hair. So there'll be different shades of Captain America hair. They've done that here with the Rocket. Two different artists use two different shades of paint as they're putting them together. So what that tells me is when they first made him, which was 3 years ago, and now they've revisited that and decided to use this shade. So I imagine this is more screen accurate than this in regards to his color. Just an opinion or a thought. That's probably what the case is, and because it's very, very definitive in that this is a brownish gold compared to this silver brown. And look at the tails. So we have a striped raccoon tail, very definitive stripes compared to very camouflage or barely even visible stripes there. Big difference. There are stripes, but they're very minimal. Look at that. That's a big difference. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I love the little whiskers. Again, those whiskers would be hand applied, not mass put on there. I hope I get him right back where he belongs. Nope, I'm not to mess with that. That's pretty close. So they've redone Rocket. They redone Rocket a lot. Don't neuter the puppy. What the hell you doing, boy? Love that line. Hope he takes the arm. Can I pet your puppy? Can I? Yeah, right. Drax. I need the Drax figure, man. I need me a Drax. Rocket and his firearms, dude. What the hell? Look at this thing. He really loves his firearms, doesn't he? I have all these different firearms from different figures, and it's like, what am I going to do with them all? Put them in a Rocket collection? I ought to buy like the Batman Armory thing and just put all my firearms from like everybody, because Deadpool's got a lot of firearms. I mean, a lot of figures come with a lot of firearms. What is this? Here's a little something for displaying, I imagine. I like how whenever Rocket has like a plan, he's like, you go do this, you go do that, and you go get this guy's eye. What do we need the eye for? Oh, but it's going to be so funny when he wakes up and his eye is missing. He's crazy like that. So I think this is supposed to be like a dancing Groot. And Baby Groot was cute, man. I love Baby Groot. Baby Groot's the tops. So I think all of the little Guardians of the Galaxy 2 figures each came with a different Groot. Different little Baby Groot pose. So here's a little dancing Baby Groot. I think that's what he's supposed to be doing. He could be doing anything. And I'm going to pose, by the way, this guy, which I think came with Star-Lord. I don't remember who he came with. Could have come with Yondu. But I believe I'm going to put him with Yondu. I think I'm going to have Yondu holding him. Not real certain yet. I think he might be just holding the cage. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. And by the way, that's not the one that comes in there. So the cage comes with Teen Groot, and this comes with, I think, Star-Lord. But I decided to put him in there. It kind of looks cool, like that. I like him reaching out through that. They have 1/6 Armory set on Amazon. You talking about from the Batman 1/6 Armory? You sure this thing's in focus? Little bitty jetpack. You know what? When I was putting this on my Star-Lord, oh, what a pain in the ass it was. I hope it's not that way with this rocket. Shit, I can't even see how to take it off. Let's get the scissors out. I hope it's a lot easier than it was than Star-Lord. I've done not. Pieces are falling off all over the place. Generic Armory for 1/6 figures? What's it called? Is it called Armory? How do I put this on? Let's think about this for a minute. I should read the instructions, right? Why would I want to do that? That would make way too much sense. It's got to just slip right on here. Right? Shouldn't it just go just like this? Get your arm in there, Rocket. Giving me a hard time. It wasn't so bad, I guess. And then this would go in the back there, which probably I won't do. Probably just going to leave it just as such, probably. Because who's going to look at the back of the figure, right? One six Force. Yeah. I saw that 1/6 Force Gump, and I was digging on that too. There's a few 1/6 figures that I've seen recently popping up. Force Gump was one of them. What was another one that I've seen that I was like, oh yeah, the Wakanda Black Panther suit. I'm digging on that too, man. I'm digging on the Wakanda sets. And I might get that because I've got the Throne on order, but we haven't got, Hot Toys peaked a T'Challa in his like civilian clothes or whatever, but I haven't seen anything. And I mean, come on, how hard can that be? But they've got like the black and white, the black with the white embroidery set as well. It comes with the whole body and everything. Yeah, he's got the shoes, and he's got the shoes, and I think he's got like a little magazines and all sorts of stuff. Put Forrest Gump next to Deadpool. That'd be cool. Deadpool making an appearance in Forrest Gump. Okay, you got a bunch of little hands, little feet. They look like the same hands and feet from the original. What is this down in here? What the hell is this? Yeah, I see. This is more of the jetpack. I see now. So I have a feeling that this comes off. I went to all that work when that's probably supposed to come off first. Mama always said you should read the instructions before you start messing with stuff. Because life is like a box of hot toys. Never know what you're going to get when you open it up. May get a bunch of busted up figures. And then what you going to do, huh? I see. So. Yeah, now I'm getting it. I'm digging this. All right. We're getting it, man. Okay. So, pop off the little guy here on the back. He just pulls completely straight off. He's got a little green little light in there. Well, not a light, but you can see there. So it's a little gem thing. Almost like as if it should light up, and it doesn't. And you got a couple little dots right there. Not really dots, little pegs. And this thing's got little pegs, little peg holes right there. And the peg holes go in what direction? I bet you they go like this. Knock this little tail off. Stick this in here. Put this gear together. Well, it sure is amazing how it works when you start doing it the way it's supposed to be. Look at that. Now we're cooking with fire. Now we are cooking with fire. Come on. Yeah. That's the ticket. That's how we do that. That's how it's done. Little pouches will slide around. Figure out where they belong. Have to check some movie accuracies there. See where that actually rides on him. He doesn't stand up well on his own 2 feet. You can get him there, but those are loose. So, get this down on rocket level. God, please tell me this is in focus. I saw DVD Blu-ray boxes featuring Deadpool on all. Yeah, yeah. Wasn't that awesome? What a marketing ploy. I love that. I thought about buying some of those, and I didn't. I should have. I might still. You know, a couple of my really favorite movies, especially. But with Netflix now and Vudu, it's hard for me to buy a DVD anymore. I just don't see the value in it. A couple little pistols that he comes with. Thanks, Robert, for verifying that it's in focus, because this is really driving me crazy, and I will screw with that camera for an hour to try to get it good. But if it's good now, then I'm not going to mess with it. Alright, so there's a couple of little pistols. You know, speaking of these little pistols, that gosh darn pistol that came with Rey, what in the absolute... This thing, it doesn't fit her hand worth a flip. And I'm curious, was that supposed to be Han Solo's pistol or a similar pistol to what he uses? Because it doesn't really fit her at all. And it really just kind of torques me off. So where do I got to go with this? This way? Put it in the center? It just does not fit her hand. And I don't know what the hell. It's just a poor design. But if that's the way it was supposed to be, that's stupid. That's more like a Rocket Raccoon size pistol. I mean, really, look at the hand grip on this. That's the size of that Rey pistol that she has. That's insane. And I hate whenever they do this. I hate whenever they just put the hands in that, like, without being anything. And I don't mean like all hands. I just mean like these little bitty hands. They should be in a little pouch, like the eyes from Deadpool should be. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. But it's the same hands. If you're familiar with the Rocket figure, the original Rocket figure, same hands, the same feet. So you can put them on his little tippy toes as well. So you have either a flat foot that he has here, or you have the little ballerina foot, or standing on his toes foot with a little articulated ankle peg there, so you can put that in different positions, not stuck just in one position. Not really an ankle pivot per se, but just a rotation. So when you put him into different areas, you can bend his feet as such, especially in flight poses, you know, because your feet are going to kind of drape a little bit. So as he's using his rocket pack. You can put his feet down as such. Uh, 7 to 9. Yeah, man. Jeez, what a disappointment. I saw my Star Wars, just waiting to see what happens in the last decide. And I hope it doesn't turn into a real bad movie. Captain Marvel tickets went on sale this last week. And I went to buy my Captain Marvel tickets, and I did not. And I was really debating, literally, what I want to do about that. I'm scared of Captain Marvel. I hate to say that. Little bitty lobster claw in here that I can't pop out of the box. Come on. There we go. So in the original Rocket, we have a clear plastic solid posing stand. Here we actually get an articulated posing stand. And these are smaller. You know what? In the original Rocket, it's an insert that goes in there. This one's actually molded as such so that nothing will fit in there but the smaller piece. And I don't know how many of these little smaller pieces I have. I don't know if I have a taller, smaller piece. See if this will fit in it. I doubt it. Yeah, not even close. Not even close. But I have to see if I have any others that are close to that in case I want to put them up taller. Because they should. I mean, come on. I should have got a really tall one with this also to put them up there at some height. But it's not included. It's not there. So I might just swap this out. I might just pop this clean out. Like I said, it's just screwed in there and then popped out, and I might put a different one in there because he's definitely going to have to be in a flight pose. No doubt about that. I thought he came with another rifle as well, but look at this thing. What the hell? It is so typical of Rocket, isn't it? Sheesh. It almost looks steampunky. You know what I mean? I'm digging that. Avengers Endgame. I have just the original, mainly episode 4. Yeah, you know, episode 4 really is, 4, 5, and 6 really are Star Wars. You know what I mean? That really is the whole deal as far as things like that go. It all centers around that. One, 2, and 3, I can kind of dig and kind of relate to. And I mean, literally only kinda. And I don't collect all of the Star Wars, not because I don't like Star Wars, but just because I don't have the room or the money to put into all of that. I mean, that would break the bank. That would break the bank. So I really have to be selective on what it is that I do with what it is that I do with. So it'd break the bank, and I don't have the storage for it. But 4, 5, and 6, I've got no problem with it. And Rogue One. Because Rogue One is really... What is Rogue One? Rogue One's like 3.9, if you were to give it a number. Because as you know, it literally ends at the beginning of Episode 4. Which, if you remember, when Star Wars Episode 4 first came out, it wasn't called Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. It was just called Star Wars. And it was later on that they gave it the Episode 4 A New Hope name. But I remember as a kid, when Star Wars came out, I was reading these magazines about Star Wars. I couldn't get enough Star Wars information back then. And back then, George Lucas gave an interview and was talking about everything. And he told us that there was more. He told us that he had 9 stories. Back then he told us that. This is way back in 1977. and that this was the middle. And he said he started it in the middle because the first stories just weren't that good. So he'd written them all the way back then, or had an idea of how things would go. And back then he said that Obi-Wan Kenobi had knocked Luke Skywalker's dad, Darth Vader, into a volcano, is how he explained what had happened to him. And later, when it actually became manifest into the movies, it was really like a whole planet that was kind of like that, wasn't it? Wasn't that the case? Why did I get Rey? Rey came with the BB-8. The only way to get the original BB-8 was to buy it with Rey. Kind of like the Mark 9. The only way to get the Mark 9 was to buy it with Pepper Potts. And I had no problem with getting Pepper Potts because I dig Pepper Potts. But I kind of hated that they did that. It was kind of stupid, really, to force that onto us, because I'm buying the Mark 9 one way or the other, and I'm buying a Pepper Potts, no matter what. So to put the two together is kind of ridiculous. And same thing with Rey and BB-8. So either they didn't feel that they could sell the BB-8s, or they didn't figure they could sell the Reys. One or the other. And I don't know which it was that they didn't think that they could do in order to do that. That's why I decided to Feisanize my Rey, because even when she came out, she was just disgusting. And I had started on this way before Denobi had done his, and he really did a good job. I think I did a better job. Dan, if you're watching this, love you, man. But no, I think I did a better job than he did. But he brought Rey to life. But I really hooked her up. Da, 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 da. You could have gotten a Spiro a bit better. I don't know if Spiros actually were out when the Hot Toys was announced. I think the Hot Toys was announced before the Spiro was. And I don't know if the Spiro is actually 1/6 scale, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I really don't know. What did I just do? The instructions. I need to find out what this little bitty clip is for. Here we go. I don't know. The only thing good about 7 and 9, what's that? BB-8. I love when Denobi gave Black Widow. He couldn't zip up the top after putting them on there, right? Yeah, out of control there. And that's because there really is no, at the time, there really was no real flat-chested feisted figure. See, what does he say here? Da 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 da. You got your different angles, so you really can't stretch him out much. And I'm not going to stretch him much. He's going to be in a flight pose. Oh, let's see. So, to put the little thing on, pop off his arms. By the way, when you're putting his little rocket pack on, pop off his arms. And then you can put it all together. A lot easier than the way that I did it without reading the instruction manual, because I am a... Oh, there we go. Groot sits on his shoulder. Yeah. And they show that on his shoulder with the rocket pack. So that's what that's for. Alright, so you click this little thing in here, and as a matter of fact, it'll click in there anywhere. So it could be on the rocket pack or without. You just slide this little clear plastic doodad right there and pop on your little Groot. Little baby Groot. That peg seems a lot longer than it should be. And then we can have Groot. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm digging that, man. Yeah, right? The look on every Avenger is Black Widow's popping out of her top. Sheesh. Love that. The lobster claw here. I wonder if the lobster claw will fit on a standard pole. Let's find out. Ah, what in the hell is that? So I don't know if I agree or disagree with this. I started doing this new thing here where you can slide these over these articulated posing stands so that you can get them higher or lower on them. And yeah, I guess that's good because, like, on some of them, especially like my original Deadpool here that came with the diamond posing stand, in order to put him on the ground, I had to do this whole thing with the articulated arm or articulated posing stand to put him on the ground. And that kind of is a hassle and pain in the ass. So, I mean, I assume this is good to do that. He'd be standing all the way back here, which I suppose is good also. Um, so, this seems to be the new thing. Doesn't really screw down, but I imagine it could be forced on there. I don't know. It shows that it goes up and down. It says all you got to do is just unscrew that and it'll slide up and down. Let's see. Let's call it out. Let's unscrew it. So this is the Deadpool one. And I'm reading it out of the Rocket raccoon, so maybe it doesn't go up and down. It does. It does go up and down. I think this is a good thing. So the only other one that I've seen that on so far, so this is by Deadpool Dusty, was on Spider-Man Homecoming. So that's cool. So now you can use an articulated posing stand and slide it up and down. So instead of them sitting on top, where you unscrewed the little thing, you had the little section and it only sat there, you can slide it up and down. They include this little rubber piece here, which, you know, the rubber on the rubber is going to be a good resistance, especially after tightening that down. So it claims the same thing here, and the question was, would this fit an original? And looking at this, I'm starting to think, no. Come on, get off there. So here's Rocket's clamp, Deadpool's posing stand, and no, it's not going on there. Look what happened with that. Chewed that clean up. Wow. Where am I at? What's my thoughts right now? So I think I've got a taller one of these. In one of those boxes. We'll see. If you see that I've posed this in a taller one that's holding this, I'll tell you how I did that. If not, in the meantime, this is what we will do. Give a little tighten on that. A lot of tightening on that. Boy, this isn't... Dude, I had to crank... I mean, this is like all the way tight. I mean, I'm really having difficulty tightening this down anymore. And that ain't holding on there very well. That's scary. That's scary. Yeah, I just don't think that's tall enough, personally. I want him to be up higher, because he should be. You see what I mean? I'd like him to be, this high. I'd like him to be up there with Star-Lord. That's just not high enough. So we'll have to work on that. See how that goes. So guys, thanks for sticking with me. Han, hello, man. I like that blue Iron Man. Do you mean the blue Iron Man 3 Stealth? Cool looking and useful. Saw a video where Budget Stark display fell and held it up. Glass shelf with no problems. What? His display shelf fell? Oh, man. Hey, Collection Obsession. Are you getting the Toys Era? I am getting the mechanical deluxe version. I got my notification that it is going to be arriving soon and to go ahead and pay for that. And it says we're going to be shipping on the 15th. So what is that, Monday or Tuesday? So I'll be getting that soon. I certainly am. Yeah. This was my wife's favorite also. And I enjoy making her happy. If she likes my figures, that makes my life so much easier. Because when she's happy with what I have, then I'm happy with what I have. Igor's a blast, man. And because he's blue, he's unique in really any others like that. Now, on Igor, by the way, when they crafted him, his battery compartment is freaking huge, but it takes the exact same batteries as the regular Iron Man figures. So when you put them in there, they kind of don't really fit well, if that makes any sense. And one of the things that I've always speculated is that when I imagine they probably 3D designed him like in 3ds Max or Maya or something to that effect. And when they did that, they probably just used the original scale that they were using for all the other Iron Man figures and then just enlarged it, because everything is enlarged. All of the battery compartments on him are huge, and they're the regular batteries that go in the other Iron Man figures. So the battery compartments in the arm, which I don't remember exactly where they are just huge. The battery compartment in the back, and all his little neat little articulations. He does his little spine, just like in the movie. So you can pop his little spine pieces out. Because if you remember in the movie when he gets ready to hold up the structure, his little spine goes chink, 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 chink as it locks into place. These little guys pop up and down and actually lock into place. You can literally rest something on him. You can use him as a shelf if you wanted to. He's such a sturdy piece. You could actually put him in place and then rest something on him. Now, I wouldn't recommend that prolonged because his hips or his feet could go out. But it could be done with careful planning. I like the look on his face, and his head is articulated differently. So it can go up and down as such. And in and out. And then he doesn't have much articulation in regards to things. But I like putting him just with a little bitty kind of a twisted look pose at you. He just kind of has like this little, I don't know, kind of like a I need to be hugged look. You know what I mean? One of my fans, one of my subscribers theorized, and I hadn't thought about this until she said that. Oh, I'm assuming it's a she. Had said that the question was this a robot or was this a suit? So we like to call it an Iron Man suit Mark 38. But as you look at it, as the question was, how did he even fit in the Hulkbuster? We've calculated he fits in the Hulkbuster quite nicely. How the heck did he fit in this? Is the real question. If he were to fit in this, I don't believe his arms would have been in the arms. I believe everything would have been here in the chest. There's just no way that he would be able to stretch his arms out as such. So I think his arms would be in here, and he would have to be in like in a seated position. There's no way he could actually sit in this in like that. So it's possible that because, as we remember, Jarvis was able to control all the suits from Mark 8 up. I guess he kind of controlled the Mark 7. He was able to deploy it, but Mark 8 up, Jarvis was literally able to 100% control individually and separately from any other. So the question was this a robot? And I'm inclined to believe that it was created as a suit, but impractical as a suit, and it probably just became just a Jarvis controlled suit as he did his construction. And all these neat little things. But I like the blue. I like the blue because it's different, and blue's my favorite color. He's got these little things here to pop out. They don't go up and down here. It looks like they should, but they don't. He's articulated well. I think you can still buy these brand spanking new. So, but they're like $500 or something to that effect. $400 or $500. But I love him, and my wife loves him. There was another blue, three other blue Iron Man figures. You have the blue and orange Disco, Mark 27. You have the blue Silver Centurion up there. Blue Steel, which is a Mark 33 Mark 33 Centurion. Only there he's blue and silver, and then you have the Mark 3 Stealth, which is blue. So that's your blue Iron Man. And the Neon Tech is black and blue. And I don't have enough lights in here to show that all. Oh, and then Iron Patriot is blue. So if you like blue figures, there are a few blue ones out there, and I dig figures. I dig them a lot. Let's see what chat have we got that I've been missing out on. Hey, I am not store credits from Big Bad Toy Store. Hop on those figures, man. That's how I bought my Mandarin. That's how I bought the Chitaris. I wished I'd taken advantage of that in the Iron Legions. It's really a great deal like that. You pay for it up front on the first one, full price, and then the others you get that, like I said, a store credit, $200 store credit, which knocks them down to really good price on that Igor. Out of all your Iron Man, and only pick one, be the Mark 15 Retro. What you mean, the one that you like the most, the Mark 15 Retro? The Mark 15 Retro is cool. I dig that. It's chromed. I've got right now a light sitting on his shoulder, so disregard. I need to decide what I'm going to actually do with that light. I'm probably going to screw it right into the spots there where I've got the little sticky tape. But I got it sitting on the Chrome 15 Retro right there, because originally he was black and silver. So the red and gold looks really good, and it's chromed out. I'm digging that. And by the way, the light goes all the way across to the other chromed one, Mark 21 Chrome, which, if I remember correctly, was only a Shanghai release. And I'm digging that. Which Iron Man looks like a Michael Bay movie with flames. The Hot Rod. Hot Rod is the one with the flames on him. Mark 22 Hot Rod. And that's a custom head sculpt that I did right there. Get that focused in on him. So I cut up the helmet and put a Mark 33 head inside of it. I've done that to a few pieces. I've done it to my Mark 20 Python there. You can see it. And I did it with my Mark 9 right there. Did it with the Mark 5. Because for some insane reason, Mark 5 did not come with a head sculpt. So I did it with that. Can't think of any of the others that I did. I've got videos that I've shown them on, but I didn't show how I did it. And it was a lot of work and a lot of cutting and a lot of destruction and a lot of scariness in doing that. So if you're going to customize your figures, just know that you're really going beyond the point of turn. Yeah, the red and gold more comic-y, right? Can't wait to Mark 7 die-cast. Yeah, I got two of them too, Robert, because what it appears to me is I'm looking at the pre-release is that in order to be able to display the Mark 7 diecast in its box form, if you want to call it that, is you have to use the entire Mark 7. So either you're using it as a figure or using it as a coffin form. The Obadiah is from Ironmonger. So Ironmonger can be popped open, and you can see in there, if you desire it, the Obadiah head sculpt. And that's cool. I thought about displaying it with it open because it's got little busts in there like they originally planned with the Hulkbuster. And so I decided not to display it as such. And then I just bought the suit. And the hands, I don't remember where they came from. And I bought the suit. I think it's a very cool suit with the little shoelaces that you have to tie, which is a pain in the ass. There's two kinds of shoelaces, those you tie and those you don't on these types of shoes. And so I just put this together. I think that's actually a Hot Toys body that I bought online. I think it's a Loki body originally that someone had busted the arm on, and so that's the body I'm using right there. Same thing with this Loki. This is a Hot Toys head sculpt, and then I bought the set to put him, the suit to put him onto this, and those are shoes you don't have to tie right there. Right there. So he's going to be posed with my Mark 6 diecast. I want to get him all set up. What I'd like to do is I'd like to find a way to light them up. I know there's a company called Soap that makes these little light up things to AC power these, because I hate putting batteries in them because the batteries erode and whatever. But I've not been able to really get in touch with Soap per se as such. So I don't have any of these guys lit up. They do look so super cool when they are lit up. Bird. What do you mean bird? Oh yeah, the cockatoo from Iron Man 2. What the hell? How come they never made that? Have I heard of any news on the Mark 1 diecast yet? I have not, but I guarantee you it's coming. It will be here. Howard Chan had stated before that no matter what, in regards to the diecast series, he said for fact he's doing the original 7. Now, WetaWorks, which was a company that was created by Peter, what's his name, from Lord of the Rings, they're the ones that made the Iron Man 3 suits. And what they were saying when it got to that, because as you can imagine, 3D creation of anything is expensive. And Iron Man 3 was getting to be very expensive. And and time consuming. So when they made the suits from Mark 8 to Mark 42, which is what appeared in Iron Man 3, Weta said they only made 10. They made 10 unique suits. And some of them we know are obviously very unique. Mark 38, unique. Mark 41, unique. Mark 42, unique. Mark 39 Star Boost. Mark 37, the underwater one. Gosh, what's it called? These are very unique. The others from 36 to 9 are all Mark 16 is very unique, and Mark 15 are very unique. So what is that? I didn't even count off however many that was. All the others are a mishmash of other suits. So when they were going about and doing these, they took like a I don't know. Let's say like the Mark 17 Heartbreaker. They took the Mark 17 Heartbreaker and busted it up and made it into the Mark 20 and the Mark 9. So those are Heartbreaker legs, Mark 17 Heartbreaker legs, and a Mark 7 torso. So they literally took the Mark 7 torso and just popped it onto the Mark 17 legs. And the 9 and the 20 are different because one has the Mark 7 hips, another has the Mark 17 hips. But anyhow, what they did is they mishmashed all those other figures together. So the point I'm getting at was when they announced that they were going to do diecast 3 years ago, I believe it was, the announcement for diecast was the Mark 17. So before the Mark 17 had been announced, before it was coming out, the photograph that Hot Toys was showing of their new diecast line that was coming was the Mark 17. So in all actuality, the original promise was that the Mark 17 was supposed to be the first diecast figure. Mark came out, it wasn't diecast. The first diecast figure I think was Mark, help me out guys, 42? Yes, you can. I am Siri underscore Emerald or Siri Emerald. I'm at Siri Emerald. At Siri Emerald is my Facebook. You sure can. So anyhow, the diecast figures did not include the Mark 17 when it came out. You know, we got the Hot Rod and all the War Machine figures are diecast. Every one of those. The Mark 42, Mark 3s. They started coming out kind of randomly in regards to that. And about 2 years ago, they showed the Mark 28 Jack as a back figure on, I think it was the Mark 15. I don't remember now. So here's the one that they're releasing, and it's posed with the Mark 28 Jack. It's the orange and black one. And they've done that before with the disco, like they posed the disco with in the background of another figure, and then next thing you know, we had disco announced about 6 months later. So Jack was sneaked on there, and I made a video about that. So here's Jack being snuck to us, and they did the same thing with this Mark 30 Blue Centurion. They snuck it to us, and then later it came out. So Jack was snuck to us. Jack has not been released. Jack's not even been announced, but there was a sneak of it 2 years ago. And here's my theory on that. With the release of the diecast figures and the continued popularity and love for the Hot Toys figures, one of two things are going to happen because the Jack is a Mark 17 and a Mark 7 and I think I'm thinking is the Hot Rod is combined in there too. I think it's the arms of the Hot Rod and the chest of the Mark 7. I don't remember now. It's a lot. So I think they didn't release that because they're going diecast on it. And it would be interesting to see if they do Marks 8 through 41 as diecast. And I chuckle to even say that. If they re-release these figures as diecast, that might be why they didn't do the Mark 28, even though it was sneak peeked to us. So, talking about diecast, the question about was, have I heard any news about the Mark 1 diecast? The answer is no, but I think you have nothing to worry about. The Mark 1 diecast is coming, and I think there's going to be more of them coming. Now, whether or not they go back and revisit every one of these guys and re-release them as a diecast, I don't know if that will happen. For instance, Ironmonger, with all of his problems in his hips, I've never seen one that wasn't cracked in the hips. Well, you know, it would be a great figure to re-release as a diecast. However, would you buy one? Truthfully, you know what I mean? It's one of those figures that it just was in the first movie, and I don't know how much love really would be with the figure in order for it to be bought again. I do have some non-Hot Toys, but not many. For instance, over here is my Lady Deaths and my Vampirellas. Right over there is Colossus. I've got in the other room, which I'm going to put for sale, the mask made by Asmus Toys. Up there is the 300 Leonidas with a Fison girl I put at his leg. Over here is the Nier Automata. And down here behind my junk box, back in the little corner over there, the junk pile, is Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Can't see her well, I'm sorry. And a custom Johann Schmidt that I made from DID or DID products. It took probably 3 or 4 of the Nazi soldiers in order to get all the pieces for him. And some Sideshow figures, of course. Star Wars Sideshow Astromechs over there. The light's kind of blaring on that. Let's get them over here. Give you a good look on that. So there's my Astromech collection. Got all the little Astromechs that they've made. Both BB-8s, the BB-9. There's the other BB-8 back in there. There to see him. He's in there. BB-9. All the little Sideshow Astromechs and Sideshow Deadpool as well. So I'm not like, oh, and Lady Katana, which was made by Toys Era, same people that made the Colossus. So I'm not sold on Hot Toys. It's really the Marvel Universe that I collect, kinda, sorta, for the most part. And so that's how that works out. And Hot Toys has like the rights to do that. So it just works in that manner, where I have a lot of Hot Toys figures because of that. It's not like I work for Hot Toys or anything like that. I don't work for Hot Toys. I wish I worked for, a company on that. Could you imagine? Sheesh. I have a real job. I'm a systems administrator for a retail store up here in California where I work. And so I actually have, it's more than a 9 to 5 because from the morning, from 7 a.m. to p.m., 7 days a week, I'm pretty much on call. I am working. So I have a real job, and that's why I'm unable to really do what some of these guys are. That some of these guys, they have the time and effort to make all these kinds of videos, or they're only spending 10, 20, or $30 on a figure, like a Marvel Select figure. They don't cost as much as a $300 Hot Toy figure. You know what I mean? So these guys can put a video up every single day. Why? Because they can go down and they can buy a Funko Pop figure for 20 bucks. They can buy a Marvel Select figure for 20 bucks. And in a week's time, they can do 7 figures because they've only spent 150 bucks. And they can do 7 videos every single day. Bang it, bang it, bang it, bang it, bang. They can bust out figures and videos, and they can just, just continually release all these figures and videos. But I don't have that luxury. When I'm dropping between $300 and $1,000 on a figure, my money, I can't do that 7 days a week. And with my job, I don't have the time also to make all these videos. So guys, I want you to understand that as I make these videos, I'm opening up my house and my collection to you, as because I enjoy sharing what I have, what I've had the luxury of being able to accumulate over the years. And I really try to be of the same caliber and quality of these guys that get paid, really get paid to do these videos. And I respect them. I respect the guys that have the time and the effort to do this. But as you know, guys like myself, like I think Denobi's probably in the same boat. He has a real job also. And that's why you don't see us releasing 30 videos in a month. It's not because we don't have the passion. It's not because we don't have the desire. It's because we don't have the time. We've got house payments to make, and car payments to make, and jobs to do, and lives to lead. And we want to share with you what we have, because what an honor to be able to own these figures. What an absolute honor to have, this. I love this. I love my garage setup. Oh, it is such a joy to me to look at my figures and to know that I have them, and I enjoy sharing them with you guys. But I only get YouTube money, and don't be fooled or confused in that regards either. YouTube pays me 2 cents per 1,000 clicks on an advertisement that pops up on my screen. So if 1,000 of you watch this video, and if you'll look, I don't get very many 1,000 views on my videos. But if 1,000 people watch my video and click on the advertisement or allow the advertisement to play, I get 2 pennies. 10,000 of you, I get 20 cents. 100,000 of you literally watch my video, click on the little advertisement, I get $2. 1,000,000 of you would have to watch the video, click on the advertisement for me to get $200. For a $300 figure, it would literally take 1.5 million of you to click on the little advertisement in order for me to get that figure for free. So don't think for 1 second that I'm making money on YouTube, as in making money on YouTube. So don't be fooled that all these people are like, oh man, he's making money on YouTube and he's getting these figures for free. Well, that ain't the case. Pay for every one of these, and for the most part, and because I did get one for free through an eBay screw up, or the guy that shipped to me the wrong figure, and I told him he shipped me the wrong figure, and he gave me lip, and I contacted eBay, and eBay contacted him and said, you need to straighten this out. He told eBay to get bent. So guess what eBay told me to do? Keep the figure. And they refunded the money. So I did get a figure for free. But it wasn't from like Hot Toys. Hot Toys didn't mail me a figure for free. Sideshow doesn't mail me a figure for free. So I'm sorry to go on to this rant, but it's one of the things that kind of bothers me, because I love this, and I wish that I could give you that. I wish I could give you. I mean, this is what I've demeaned myself to, or these live video chats, and it kind of hurts my feelings that I've not had the opportunity to do what the guys do. Gosh dang it, I'm welling up here. Sorry. But I welcome you guys into my home, and I show you my collection. And I'm sorry that I don't have everything, you know. I'm sorry I don't have the NECA. I'm sorry I don't have Marvel Select, but gosh dang it, this is my private collection, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy the time with me, and I'm sorry. Let me see if I can get my composure here. Where are we at? Poor man's toys. Not a jab, right? Some of them are. Ash, how you doing, man? Let's see. Exactly. Always scary losing a job. Yeah, $2. Yeah, right? Exactly, right? Okay, question. If your fans sent you stuff, yeah, it's cool what you do. No worries. Thanks, Collection Obsession. Appreciate that, man. Sorry to get all emotional on you there and to go on this rant, but I kind of feel bad. I really do, that I can't give you guys what you really want. But it's just really my private collection. Thank you very much, Noble. Thank you very much. Oh, cheers. I've recomposed myself. Be your favorite? What's my favorite? As in what? Yo, man, we're here for you, man. That's why we have you personally. That's why we hear your personally and how you're passionate. I am, man. I love these things. My favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe is my favorite franchise. They've really nailed it. Like I really. Let's see. Some people have a lot, but they are stuck up and they don't even shoot nice videos. Hey, thanks, Ash. Thanks for giving me the kudos like that. I started off in the comic world loving Superman. I think everybody has a passion for Superman. I can't imagine somebody in the United States not having some type of a connection to Superman. And along that same line comes Batman. I have a hard time believing that people that live here in the United States don't have some type of a Batman connection. You know what I mean? So I've always had that love for Superman and Batman. But I have to say, in regards to Superman and Batman, they weren't relatable to me. You know what I mean? They were Superman, who is, I mean, just the word says it all. I don't need to say anything else. And Batman was, he's Batman. Again, these are characters that are who they are. and I could never aspire, nor could I walk in their footsteps. And it didn't matter. I enjoyed reading them, but I just weren't relatable to them. And then I discovered Peter Parker in the 80s when I was a young man, and him I could really relate to, and I dug Peter Parker. I mean, I could walk in his footsteps. So boy, I started sucking up everything I could on Peter Parker, man. I started buying all of his comics and started reading everything I could. Peter and I we connected, you know what I mean? And I kind of fell away from Superman and Batman. Respect them and love them totally and completely, and loved all the shows and the movies and the cartoons and all that came out back in the day, and I really enjoyed those. But I never had a real connection with any of the Justice League or any of that, and I respect it completely and honor it. I mean, it was more or less really in that regards. It's much older than Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics came out in the 60s, and Stan Lee, they pretty much duplicated everything that DC was doing. I think Stan even worked at DC at one time. Don't get me wrong if I'm saying something that's not true, but I believe that was the case. So DC's been around since like the 40s or 30s, and Spider-Man came out later. But the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, when the first Spider-Man movie came out, well, not the first one, but the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie came out at the turn of the century, I really dug that. I dug the first two movies completely and totally, and the third one was great. When the Marvel Cinematic Universe came out with Iron Man, so I've seen both Hulks. I've seen the Ang Lee, which they don't call part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then I think it was called the Incredible Hulk, which is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I think came after Iron Man. But anyhow, with that whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, the whole thing I'm sold on. Some of the television shows kind of I never really latched onto, but the MCU is my line, I guess I would have to say. If I were to say there was one line, it would have to be the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's that bugs you? Optimus Prime. Because Optimus is everything you want to be. Noble, courageous, strong, honest, caring, but he's a robot. Yeah. Human qualities in a robot, but no human can match. Yeah, exactly. Hey Siri, contact Sculptimo Toys back east regarding soap prize. Okay, that's where I got my two soap. Yeah, what they cost? He's a real nice guy to deal with. Just tell him what figures you want to light up. All right, yeah. What did it cost to do that? And how many figures can you run on a soap line? That's my question. Kind of bugs me. I love Optimus, but wish there was a human hero to match. Now the good thing is I've met what's his name, Peter Cullen, who does Optimus Prime's voice. He is Optimus Prime, and he's Igor from Igor from Winnie the Pooh. He's a great man. He was up here in Northern California at a anime show, and I got to meet at SAC Anime, and I met him with Sean Long, and what a great guy. And he really is humbled by the fact that he's Optimus Prime, because so many people look up to Optimus Prime. Like you said, he's everything, and that is a huge mantle for or a huge what's the word I'm looking for, torch for him to carry, to be Optimus Prime. You know, he is the voice of Optimus Prime, and what a great guy. If you ever, I made a video of sitting in on of him on a panel here at SAC Anime, and Sean Long was there too. What a great guy. Closest would be Superman. Yeah, as in regards to Optimus Prime, Superman would be the closest to that. I guess be hated for a goody goody. How much did you pay for that collection obsession? Do you remember, for the soap light up sets? And how many Iron Man could it do? It was one setup for one Iron Man, or does it power two Iron Man or three Iron Man? Okay, so for soap products, usually you use one setup to light up one figure. Okay, and one set will cost roughly around $100. Okay, so I've got roughly $100 here. That's going to cost me a lot of money. So I'll have to figure out which ones I want to wire. But okay, good. I'll contact him. Optimus is wounded. Send help. Hey, everybody. It's Elmo. What? You guys are insane. I don't even understand that. It's Elmo. All right. Well, I think I've probably wasted you guys' time enough. I can sit here and talk all day. about all of this. But so next week definitely I will have Thor Ragnarok Loki in house. One of these days I'll get around to getting some type of a UV light for my figures, and I can open Thor. I'm really holding off on Thor. Like, I've got my Iron Man Neon Tech that I opened up, and I wish he had. You know, supposedly Black Panther supposedly comes with a neon light setup, which I haven't got that yet either. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll use those lights for my Neon Tech Mark IV. Don't know. Do you guys got anything else for me? Do you have any questions or anything you want to see? NKSG, how you doing? Yeah. Robert, always a joy. Be well, YouTube friend. Yes, Robert, thank you. Thank you for spending this morning with me. Really appreciate it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about or see while you got me here on the line? Because I've got nothing really going on right now. I don't have to go anywhere. Work hasn't called me yet, and thank God. So we can talk about anything, or I can show you anything else that happens to be going on before I get out of here. All right, looks like we're back. I think it was YouTube that screwed me there. So let's get you back here. All right, thanks guys. Sorry, should be reconnecting here. Don't know if it's going to continue on. Okay, good. Did it continue on? Where are we at? Are you there? Are we back on live? Let's have a look here at the chat on the phone. See what that says. Okay, we are back. Good. Okay, cool. So I can see the chat, but I don't see any video. What figure was it that you said you wanted to see, Ash? You said you wanted to see the figure again. Jarvis back online. That's right. You asked if we could see the figure again. Which one was the Ash that you wanted to see? Spider-Man. Yeah. Spidey. Speaking of Spidey, that is like my my grail now. Is all the Spider-Mans, especially the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. How in the world does this thing go? Does it go upside down? Ah, yeah. That's how he carried it. Doesn't go right side up. It goes upside down. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to work on that. All right, Spidey. I'm digging this Spidey. I've got the other Spider-Man, the Homecoming suit, in the other room to unbox, and of course I've got the Mark 47 there, which came with Spidey. So Spidey looks really good. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, hanging him upside down. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I love this Toby. Yeah, the last one. Yeah, what in the hell? They really blew it with the last one. But yeah, they really nailed this, and that's Hot Toys thing. Sir, do you know if there is a special black light up display set for the new Black Panther, similar to what's available for Neon Iron Man? Okay, so now the light up set didn't come with the Neon Iron Man. The light up set came with Black Panther, and that's why I don't have the light up set, because I haven't gotten the Black Panther yet. So the guys that have the Black Panther have the neon light up set that came from Hot Toys, and the guys like myself who don't have the Black Panther yet, because I'm on the hate list, I guess, from Sideshow, don't have that. Homecoming Tech Spidey is best. Is that the one that you mean the homemade suit, because that's what I have. I haven't unboxed them yet. I still got them in another room. I need to go get them. No, wait, I did I did a live unboxing with them on these weekend shows. And I think I was going to plan on doing a regular unboxing. I haven't done it yet. But he comes with all the same pieces that this guy does, only different. So some people say that this suit here can get cracks in the creases if you pose them like this for too long. And I don't know if that would be the case with this suit or not. It might be, but I'm not real certain on that. So there is some concern by some collectors in regards to posing him as such because of that. And some suits do that, and it is possible that this could happen as such. But you got three of what? 3 of this? You are lucky, man. You are lucky. So I'm debating on. I've had them like this for a couple of weeks, and I don't know if I'm going to keep them like this. I probably am. Took forever to get 3 of them. I believe that. Thank you, NK. Yeah, I don't see this figure. I don't know, man. You may be dead on in regards to the creases, because I know like Deadpool has had his problems, and it's the same type of suit. Yeah, I'm gonna put some webbing in his hand. I sure am. I'm not quite certain yet what I'm doing with him, so he's kind of just chilling right now. That's why. So this little area here is the area of Island of Misfit Toys, because I haven't quite figured out what to do with them yet. So I've got Dusty Deadpool there right now. I've got Igor and Ray, of course. I've got my Deadpool back there. Love this Mark 23 shades, and I put him on Mark 1, original Mark 1 display stand. I think that works out good because he's like dressed up in camouflage. So we're looking up at Ant-Man. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't ruin the suit in that pose. I think you're right. Poor Ray. She's alone there. She needs some love, doesn't she? Ray needs some love. I'm probably going to eventually put her with my Astromechs, and so she'll get some love there. Spread out in shock. Yeah, poor Spidey. Like, hey, what do you say? He's big or something like that. What do you say? I like how he says, remember that old movie, Empire Strikes Back? That was so funny. You know, the young kid talking to the older guys. You know that old movie? But yeah, this is a Fison Ray, by the way. So it's a Hot Toys Ray, okay? And yeah, I don't know. I don't think she can take on Scarlet Witch. I think Scarlet Witch will totally kick Ray's ass. I don't think Ray could stand a chance against Scarlet Witch. But anyhow, this is a Hot Toys Ray that I've disassembled and put her onto a Fison body. And that's who this is. That's who this Ray is. So she is anatomically correct as a Fison figure is. So she's a special Ray. She's a special Ray. But yeah, that's by Spidey. And yeah, I would love to have all the Spideys. I would love to have a little Spidey shelf of, especially the Tobey Maguires. Is Igor 5 years old? I think he is. I think he is. Now let's look at the bottom. All Hot Toys, just like Toy figures, have their little name on the bottom of their foot. Not the name, but 2014 it says. I don't know if that's going to focus in as I hold him. Let's get him over here. 2014. So yeah, that would be 5 years. Is that focusing in there, guys? Here we go. Hot Toys 2014. Sure enough, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, doesn't it? I think 2012 was the first figure, so don't I think my oldest ones are 2012, isn't that when they first came out? Love Igor. Like I've told you guys before, my wife loves Igor, and that's what's important. You got to keep your partner happy, because if your partner's happy, then you're happy. And I'm really digging that Mark 21 Chrome. I'm glad I got that. I paid premium price for that, but I paid a premium price for the original Mark 21 too, because I missed it originally. But I really love that Mark 21 Chrome. Underappreciated figure by those who missed it or don't know it, but it is remarkable. See if we can focus in on him. He is remarkable. I do have Hulkbuster. Those are the fight figures. Yeah, how do I start making? Yeah, right. Yeah, it really does look like real gold, doesn't it? Retro Mark 15. Yeah, I love that figure too. Right over here, same thing. He's the red with the gold chrome. Now, so this was you could buy this one easily at the time from any Sideshow exclusive any Hot Toys exclusive distributor. I've seen that Harley Quinn, and I agree with you. They did ruin that figure. Sure did. So this one was readily available. This one was one of their Shanghai, if I remember correctly, one of their Shanghai releases. So the Shanghai releases were the Mark 4, Mark 6, Mark 21 Chrome, and the Mark 42. And that was the only way you could get them is by a third-party reseller, unless you were able to yourself go to Shanghai and pick it up at the Shanghai Disney store there. And so I really had to pay for this, and I am really happy to have him. My Hulkbuster, he's down here, so we can get some light on him. And he's just another one of those that I haven't found yet where to put him at. Those are the little cases that I have that have all the extra pieces in it, the hands and whatnot. So each one says, who they are. Mark 45, it says there in the upper right hand corner. So that one over there is pretty much the Iron Man collection, and over here is everything else. I need to get another one of those, put them all up. But yeah, there's my Hulkbuster. Took forever and a day to get him, and then he sat in his box forever and a day before I even ever took him out of the box. Right over there on the side are ones I haven't unboxed yet. I've got the Thor, and I've got a Chitauri Commander, and the Chitauri Commander and Foot Soldier combination, and the Mark IV diecast still in the box, and I've got my other Yondu. I bought two Yondus because I wanted to display one with his new, what do you call it, little headpiece, and then one with the original. I want him to be part of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. So I bought two Yondus. That's the other one there. And there's a Star-Lord and my Teen Groot. And over here again, kind of the item and Misfit Toys here, because they really don't have a spot yet. So Captain America Infinity War and Black Widow Infinity War and Thor, Gladiator Thor, and T'Chaka and Chitauri Foot Soldier and Doctor Strange. So that's all those guys. Had to get the regular Mark 15 to go with it. I know, right? On the fence about getting new Hulkbuster with Power Arm. Great set. Thank you, Robert. Siri, did you PO the new Hulkbuster with the Jackhammer arm? I PO'd the Jackhammer arm, and I am continually on the fence about getting the new Hulkbuster. So I have the Jackhammer arm coming because really that's how I really want to pose him. I really want to pose the Hulkbuster in that punch where the two fists meet with the Hulk. And I've got the Hulk, the deluxe Hulk. Right now I'm displaying Hulk with his arms up in the fixed thing. I wish I had another set of legs here. I wish I could do this to two Hulks. And but I'm going to put him, I want to pose him with the fist meeting up with the Jackhammer arm. That's really what I want to do. And I have shelves I'm going to put up here to have 2 more shelves above this to have more room. So I can put a shelf right about here, and then I can put another shelf right about there. So I can have 2 more rows of figures. And because these shelves here are about 16 inches tall, whereas these shelves here are, I mean, if you see there, their heads are just almost touching, and that's not even on a pose stand. So that's what the plan is, to do that. What about the Mark 50 with accessories? I ordered I think 1 Mark 50, and I did order an accessory pack. We'll look by posing that way. Punch. Yes. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be a great posing idea of the Hulkbuster, because they promised us the jackhammer arm. Okay, no, they didn't promise us the jackhammer arm. When they announced the Hulkbuster, God, what was it? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? I don't even remember now. I think it was 4 years ago. They announced the Hulkbuster, and of course I ordered it on the day that it came out. It was one of the first videos that I even made, was talking about that. So I ordered him, and of course I'm like the last dude to get him on the planet who had pre-ordered him on that day, and that's fine. Like I said, besides he sat on a shelf, sat in his box forever before I even took him out of the box. So it's not like there was any rush on that. But I just dropped a rocket hand here on the front ground, and I can't find it right now. Anyhow, I ordered a Hulkbuster, and what point was I getting on? Oh, that's right. So they announced him, and I made a video, and then about 6 months later, they announced that they were making some changes to him, and I made a video about that. And then when he was on circuit, they started showing the jackhammer arm. And so I was like, oh man, because they said with the changes, because originally the Hulkbuster came only with a bust of the Mark 42 in there. And then the change came out that you could put the entire figure in there. And I'm thinking, great, so they made a lot of changes to him. They've modified his head, his helmet, because now the head's retractable. Before they just had like a little piece that you stuck in the back, which we never got, that would have been the retracted helmet. And so they showed the jackhammer arm, and I'm thinking, oh great, they're going to have the jackhammer arm. They never released the jackhammer arm, so it wasn't really a promise, but everywhere it went on shows, they kept showing the jackhammer arm. And now finally, after Hulkbuster came out, and you spend $1,000 or whatever on it, I did get him for a good price because I pre-ordered him back in the day before the price went up. But with the $250 or whatever dollars it is for the jackhammer arm, I'm right back to the price of the real Hulkbuster is now. So I'm back to zero on that. And that kind of is a pisser in regards to the... Oh, there's Rocket's hand. I'm trying to find Rocket's hand. Keep a little picker upper here to pick up all these little guys. This little thing here is priceless. Love this. Helps out so much. So yeah, it kind of pisses me off, the jackhammer arm. Ligma series? What is that? Never done that. When you pack them away, it does look awkward. Hard lens flare. Oh, do we got lens flare? Is that any better? I can see the sun coming through the window. I hope that fixed it. Warren, don't you dare touch my Goku figures. I don't know what that means. Non-Marvel, I like to get that Stallone Dread, Forrest Gump, maybe Men in Black. I've thought about the Men in Black, and I thought about also the the movie one of the movies I really liked is Fight Club, and they made a Brad Pitt, what was his name in the movie? And I forget the figure, Blitzway maybe made him. They made that, and I thought about getting that. There's so many that I think about getting that I just don't get for one reason or another. And but that's what's great about the 1/6 hobby. There are so many ways of being able to do this, and oh my God, the dedication that Hot Toys puts into this is remarkable. You really can't get, or I have not yet seen a figure really that exceeds the quality that a Hot Toys figure gives you. And are they perfect? No. There are times when, just like today when I unboxed this rocket, I had to trim the thread off of him. Or there are times when the head sculpt just doesn't look right for one reason or another. And it's kind of a stretch. Not crazy about Brad. Love the Ghostbusters. Who made those? Have you started the Jimmy Seville collection? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I would if Hot Toys were to release the Millennium Falcon. Hell yeah, I would get that in a freaking second, and that would really preempt me to get or force me to get those figures. And it would have to be a whole slew of them because you'd have to get the Lando. Anybody that's ever sat in that cockpit, Ray, I've already got her. There's another company doing Ghost Crystals, I hope as good as Blitzway. Blitzway, yeah, that was the name of the company. But when it comes to Iron Man, Hot Toys perfects them. Gotta admit that. Dude, Hot Toys perfects all of them. Like Tom Holland here. Dude, that is Tom Holland. You know, when I was little, there was a Marvel, there was a wax museum where I was growing up. And when I would go to that wax museum, there were displays of the actors and famous people that looked like the actors and famous people. And those were handcrafted wax sculpts. And that's what we have here. You know what I mean? Steve Zidane. Who's that? I don't know who that is. But what we have is well, that's why they call it Movie Masterpiece Series. We have museum quality figures here in regards to the recreation of them. So the first few years, it was a stretch as to whether or not it really looked like the figures. You know what I mean? But now, dude, you're dead on. It's dead on. Now, what do you mean in regards to they're careful for scratch? You mean it's easy to scratch them? I would believe that. I don't I don't know if I've ever really scratched any of my Hot Toys, but I would believe that because they're hand painted. The head sculpts are. Every head sculpt is hand painted. So I believe that it's easy to scratch them off. Sure, that makes sense. I want Hot Toys to do Buster Crab, Flash Gordon, 80s Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Linda Carter, so bad. Linda Carter would be cool. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Hot Toys to release Back to the Future 2 DeLorean car. Yeah, right? That's what they did, what, the first one with the wheels, and then they hinted that they were going to do the levitating one? Or at least make accessories that can be added onto it. I've seen like the Fusion, Mr. Fusion or whatever thing that stamped onto the back of the engine. I've seen that. Yondu head sculpt is definitely spot on. Definitely, I agree. I bought two of those Yondus and I love them. I guess we're all old, Robert, for diecast figures. Easy to scratch. Bionic Woman, Bigfoot. You mean like Harry and the Henderson's Bigfoot, or you mean like the Bigfoot from the Bionic Woman episode? Which Bigfoot you looking at? Yeah. Love my Yondu. I hated that they killed him. Spoiler alert. Hated that he died at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It would really been cool to see him continue on. But, you know, there's so much story there with Stallone being one of the Ravagers. There was like a whole slew of Ravagers that were important, from my understanding, in the comic line that they showed there about what they were going to do with Yondu. And it's almost like as if they could, if they wanted to, make a whole another side story with Yondu and Stallone and all those guys in that regards. Shit, sound chip. What the hell are you doing, boy? I like that. One of my favorite lines was when he was coming down holding his his arrow. Where's go Yondu? That'd be cool. And Star Lord looks at him and he goes, "You look like Mary Poppins." and he says, "I pressed his belly." And he says, "Was he cool?" Oh, press his belly and make him say, "How you doing, boy?" But he says, "You look like Mary Poppins." And he says, "He may be your father, but he ain't your daddy, boy. Right? Yeah, you look like Mary Poppins. Was he cool?" "Yeah, he was cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all." That's what I thought was funny. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Now, you know what I wish they'd done with this character, though? I wish they'd had his mouth open with that gold tooth sticking out there. That would have been cool. But no, that's Michael Rooker, man. I don't give a damn. There's no doubt about it. I don't look at that and see anybody else. That is dead on. What the hell you doing, boy? Boy, he may be your father, but he ain't your daddy. Yeah. uh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. Because it seems to me that now see, if you remember, if you watch any of my videos, I told you all that Red Skull would be back. I really had a feeling that Red Skull was going to come back. And again, spoiler alert, he was in Infinity War. There was a thing that Kevin Feige had said at one point that you're not really dead in a Marvel movie. And were you always an a-hole? You're not really dead in a Marvel movie. He'd said that at one point. And another thing that was said at one point was that the actors and actresses signed 3 movie deals. So they're locked in for 3 movies. Now, of course, Quicksilver got 1, and Obadiah Stane got 1, and Whiplash got 1. So there are actors can predict who's who's going to save Tony from space. Oh yeah, I can tell you who that is. In my opinion, there are actors that only got 1 movie. He is the Soul Stone Guardian, or was the Soul Stone Guardian, but you remember, it wasn't by his choice. He said that he couldn't escape the Soul Stone because there was that he loved. Remember? It was really heart-wrenching when he made that statement. And then when Thanos had to do away with what it was that he loved. I really like how this turned out. This swirly zip of his arrow. That's actually a combination of 2 sets of swirlies. Season 1 through 3 of what? So anyhow, yeah, who's going to save Tony? It's going to be a full-on set of people that are going to save Tony. All right? So it's going to definitely be Pepper Potts. And they're all going to have armors that Tony has made pre this. In my opinion, if you remember, when they're leaving Earth's orbit, okay, and right before the last few words that Friday says to him, she says something like, "I'm going to initiate," or "I'm going to contact," or she tells Tony something. And I don't remember what it was she said, but she says she's going to start something up. She's either initiating a protocol or she's doing something. Don't remember what it was. Yeah, what's his name? He was in Gilmore Girls. He's actually related to the guy that did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It's his brother, I think. No, Captain Marvel is not dead. So it's going to be Pepper Potts is going to lead the charge, but we're going to see all these guys wearing these rescue armors, and it's going to be Hulk and Rocket Raccoon and the whole gamut of them. But it's definitely going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be Pepper and Rocket Raccoon and Hulk for fact. Because Rocket Raccoon, he knows the universe. He knows where everything is. When he whistled and stabbed, Drax couldn't stop laughing. I don't remember that. Oh, you mean like at the end of the movie when the guy that got the arrow was trying to master it? What is his name? Who's the guy that did the Galaxy Guardian of the Galaxy movies? What's his name? Because that's who he's related to. It's either his brother. I think it's his brother. The guy that got Yondu's arrow. James Gunn, yeah. So his last name is Gunn also. And he was in Gilmore Girls. He was the guy that had every single job in Gilmore Girls. I don't know if you ever watched Gilmore Girls. I loved that television series. It's a great little, cute little television show. If you ever want to watch a cute little TV show, it came out like 10 years ago. What was it? I don't remember what the character's name was either. I'm sorry. But he was in just about every single one of those episodes of Gilmore Girls. And every single episode, he had a different job. I mean, every one of them, he had a different job. He was the florist. He was the librarian. He was the movie guy. He was a candy store owner. He was the pool boy. It was the same character. He just had a different job. And I looked at my wife and I said, that dude's going to be a millionaire because of all these jobs you had. You watch. And it was cute how that progressed along. Taserface was the Taserface. You named yourself Taserface? Yeah, I think they will. I think, Lover, that we will get all the Iron Man suits from the House Party Protocol. I think they've been waiting on the die cast. And I think what it has been is that the Mark 7, I was kind of talking about this earlier. I didn't really finish my thought. Yeah, they should have made Stanley the Watcher. They kind of give us a hint on that. But with the Mark 7 diecast, because Wetaworks only took Hammerhead, yep, definitely, I'm with you. And Nightclub, oh, definitely. They made 10 original suits for Iron Man 3. And so somewhere, we were counting them back, so 42, 41, 40, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 15, 16, and there must be one other one in there that I'm missing, or 21. Excuse me, not 21, 22. Those are the 10 original suits that they made. All the other suits are based off of those suits. 25. So that's 11. So they must not, one of them I must not be counting incorrectly. So all the other suits are based off of those. So the point I'm getting at is that they had to have a Mark 7 die cast in order to make, for instance, the Mark 9 and the Mark 20 and the Mark 21 and the Mark 27, and all these ones that they made require a Mark 7. So Mark 7 diecast in order to be able to do those. And that's why, in my opinion, when they snuck peeked the Mark 28 Jack, which is a Mark 7 and a Mark 17 combination, they decided not to continue on with it until they came out with the Mark 7 diecast. So now that the Mark 7 diecast has been announced, not yet released, I have a feeling that they're going to continue working on the Mark 17 Heartbreaker, which is, the same thing as Mark 24, and take the Mark 7 diecast pieces from it and the Mark 17 pieces from that to give us the Mark 28 Jack. And there's a lot of Mark 7 and a lot of them. And Mark 37 is a total incomplete one. And I think that as soon as that Mark 7, I think shortly we're going to see one of these figures come out with the because of the Mark 7 diecast. Now, as I was saying before, one time before, I said Howard Chan said that for fact, he knew for fact that they were going to do the first 7 as diecast, no doubt about it. But he never said specifically that they were going to do the others. However, they sneak peeked when they were going to do the diecast originally, as the Mark 17 was supposed to be the first diecast figure. So obviously that's always been in the back of their mind that was what their intention was. So I think we will get the rest of them. Now, whether or not they will redo all of the ones that were already done and redo them as diecast, I don't know. But I think we'll definitely get the fill-ins. Yeah, I'm with you. What the hell are you doing, boy? Yondu, he should say that. So no, I don't know like if they're going to do like the Mark 41 again as a diecast, or the Mark 38 as a diecast, or the Ironmonger as a diecast. I don't know if they'll do all those, or like the Mark III really needs to be redone again. The Mark III diecast, even though it's already been the original has been done, the diecast has been reworked as the diecast. That diecast really is just kind of off by today's standards. So I do think that they do need to do those things, and I do think that we'll get the rest of the House Party Protocol. I just don't know if they're going to redo all of the House Party Protocol as far as diecast goes. On, I heard Hot Toys is going to make all of the Iron Man diecast in 2015. Hot Toys should be released Mark II Unleashed. Oh, could you imagine? Man, the Mark II diecast is pretty sweet as it is. But yeah, that Mark II Iron Man Unleashed is dead on target. Is dead on target. Yeah, they definitely need to do Mark III. And of course, if they're doing Mark III, they could do the Mark II Unleashed as well. But they really did a good job with the Mark II diecast. I don't have much hate for that. I dig that. The Mark IV and the Mark VI diecast, what a joy those are. Somebody asked me in a YouTube chat, which I haven't responded to yet, if I really hated the Mark VI, and I don't remember the Mark VI. I think what I said was that I hated that they remade it because the value of the original Mark VIs. But the Mark VI diecast, boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a figure. What a figure. And the Mark IV, its brother, what a figure. Those are great. If you are Iron Man collectors, man, you can't go wrong with any of the original 7. Any one of them, whether it be the plastic versions or the diecast versions. You really can't go wrong there. Mark 1 diecast will be sold out quickly. If it comes for PO, a lot of us are waiting for it. You know what, NK? I would like to think that. But I have a feeling that the way they are doing things at Hot Toys now, and I hate to say this, I think the days of a truly sold out figure are gone. And I hate to say that. I think they're worth the prices, though, Robert. I really do. Because, like I said, each one is touched by an artist. Each one. There's not one that when you get delivered to your house that somebody hasn't touched with a pen or paint or something. And what does that translate to? If you were to buy artwork by an artist, a famous artist, what was that guy? Thomas Kincaid, for instance. If Thomas Kincaid were to paint for you a real painting, I mean, from canvas to lacquer or however the steps are that he goes through, and if he were to paint that for you, you would spend tens of thousands of dollars, or he may just gift it to you. But it would cost you some real money to have an artist make that. Now, they had these Thomas Kincaid stores where you could walk into the mall or wherever these stores were, and you could buy a reproduction of a Thomas Kincaid painting, and that was hand embellished by him. And what that meant was they took a lithograph or a serigraph or some type of recasting of an original piece of artwork that he made and put it on canvas or something to that effect. So it was not painted on, but it was applied on through a process. He then took his own paints, his own brush, and his own hand, and would put little marks on them here or there, a little touch of light, a little swing of the grass, a little touch of a tree, and there would be what they call hand embellishments on this painting. And he would then sign it again, because he's the one that retouched his work that he'd already done. And he would do a number of these, 100 of them, 300 of them, 500, whatever. Bing, 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 touch them with the paint. And those bad boys would sell from between 300 to 1,000, 2,000 bucks for essentially a poster on canvas that the artist has come by and went chick, 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 chick. Same thing here. So you have a figure that's made, okay? It's sculpted. The head is hand painted, and then they go back and they have somebody else even hand embellish them. So Hulk, for instance, this dude right here, hand painted. Yondu, hand painted. Mark 47. Mark 47 diecast. So it may come off the assembly line, or however, as such. But these little marks here on his knee, those are hand done by hand. An artist had to do that. So my Mark 47 is different than your Mark 47. So they are, in fact, a work of art as such in the mass-produced world, as like the Thomas Kincaid paintings or any other painter of recent era who has been doing works of art. So that's where that figure price really kicks in. You can buy a third-party figure for between $100 and $200, and then you get a Hot Toys figure between $200 and $300. But a third-party figure doesn't have this attention to detail or that master touch that the others have. And that's my opinion on that. Expensive work of art, just have to be selective to which ones you get. Definitely. I can't argue with you at all. Robert, I would say I have much more than that. I would say I have much more than that. And there's always hard to sell because everyone's in the same boat in regards to, the dollar. Be selective in your choices. Don't get something you don't love. There's no point in that. You're going to resent it. And it's money that you could have spent on something that you really did want. You know what I mean? I would say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. I mean, just these 11 Iron Men in the Hall of Armor is $3,300, Robert. And then there's another $1,000 sitting right there. So now you look at $4,000, $4,500 or so. $1,000 in the Hulkbuster. $5,500. $6,500. $7,000. That shelf alone is probably $3,000 right there with the stealths. You know, there's another $1,000, $2,000 on the top shelf there. Another probably, the Hall of Armor is $1,000. I would say a lot more than $7,000. I hate to say, a lot more. I don't even know. I don't want to add it up. It'd scare me. It'd be a couple of cars, probably. Handful of cars. Hot Toys is a very bad to slow. Agreed on that selective decision. Cherished with what Hot. Yes, love them. My room kind of looks like yours. I'm with you, man. Batman Nolan. Hey, I love Christopher Nolan Batman. I love Michael Keaton Batman. I love Christopher Nolan Batman. I loved what's his name? Jack Nicklaus Joker, and I loved Heath Ledger Joker. So those are the ones. If I could only have one, but triples, mine would be Christopher Reeve Superman. The Superman I love is Christopher Reeve, and what was this guy? The television show was called The Adventures of Lois and Clark. The character that played that Superman. Those are the two that I love. I don't rule number one. Don't calculate out. Yes, NK, with you there. I'm with you. Don't add it up. It's kind of like, one of the things that they say is if you guys have ever gambled in a casino, one of the games I really like to play that I have a really good time playing is craps. And I don't know if you know what that is, but that's the game where you roll the dice on the table. And there's literally, if you've never played craps, I really can't explain it to you except to say that there's multiple games going on at the same time, but it all is based off of the roll of the dice as to what game you're playing on the table. And you could be playing all of these games at the same time. betting that a number is going to pop, betting that a number is not going to pop, betting that a number is going to lay in a certain way. There's lots of things going on at the same time. And you may have chips all over the table in regards to whether you've got the 7 or 11 coming up, or whether you got a 4 coming up as 2 2s, or whether you got a 6 coming up as 3 3s, or if all sorts of different things are going on at the same time. And if you were to ever stop and look at the table and see how many chips you actually have laid out on the table, you would probably cry, especially when the craps comes up and all the chips go away and the game's over. But each time that the roll comes, if craps doesn't come up, you get paid if you've got that game going on. So if you say, if a hard 4 comes up, both dice having 2 on it, you get paid for that. Boom. So let's say point on it is 8. All right, and so point is what you're looking for, and you got the hard 4 coming up, up pops 2 4, you get paid for that. Something else comes up, boom, you get paid for that. Something else comes up, boom, you get paid for that, and you get all this money sitting around, and next thing you know, bam, out comes the craps, kills the game. Unless you are betting on craps hitting, bam, you get paid for that. But you never add up what you got on the table when you're playing the game. Same thing here. Don't add it up. You're playing the game. You're enjoying what you got. You love your figures. Play with your figures. Get them out. In the new Hot Toys video, they're talking about that. Rephotograph your figures. One of the things that as time is such a valuable asset, one of the things I consider going through all of my 100 figures that I have and just doing a spot on them again, and just filming them and photographing them and enjoying them, and going outside and getting the live sun on them as to how they are, and re-releasing those videos. And that's one thing I'd like to be able to do. I sure would enjoy that. Drinking a martini. I'm with you, man. Very addicting. What's her name? Siri Emerald. Bond. James Bond. Right? Who says that? You ever met anybody that talks like that? What's your name? Emerald. Siri Emerald. I've never met anybody that talks like that. What's your name? Stank. Tony Stank. I thought they were going to roll with that. That was at the end of Captain America Civil War, and that was Stan Lee's cameo appearance, and he came by as the delivery guy, FedEx or UPS, I don't remember which, and he's like, "Is there a Tony Stank?" And Don Cheadle's character is like, "Yeah, this is Tony Stank right here. I'll never let you live that down." I thought they were going to continue that in Infinity Wars, and they did not. But so, yeah, there's a whole collection of James Bond figures being made in the last year. I don't remember who it is that makes them, but they've made the villains as well. So you got James Bond and the villains. I think, though, if I were to collect outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't know if it would be Star Wars or the Justice League, because I really kind of like all the stormtroopers that they made. They got like 100 different stormtroopers. Yeah, I think they will, and it goes without saying that it's a requirement. Big Chief Studios, that's who's doing the 007. Yeah, we really need some closure with Stan, because he necessarily wasn't the creator of every single Marvel character, but he had influence over all of them, and he was like the spokesperson for Marvel. So even though we know it was Jack Kirby and John Romita and a lot of the other guys made Marvel Comics what Marvel Comics was, Stan Lee wasn't always the number one guy in that regards. He was at least the number one face. He was the ambassador or the spokesperson for Marvel Comics. And with all the cameos that he did, it was important to us as fans to have him, and we looked forward to that. And I think there was one movie where he did not make a cameo in. Of course, he wasn't in any of the X-Men movies, but I think there was one movie he didn't make a cameo in.
It shows Stan Lee in the Soul Stone, just like Gamora. That one hurt, along with Penny Marshall, Leonard Nimoy. Oh yeah, passing on. Yeah, no doubt. But one of the things that somebody had said, which I really enjoyed, I think was a good idea, and I don't know whether or not it'll ever come to fruition, was that instead of using Stan Lee anymore, obviously because they can't, because Stan Lee's gone, and it would be really ridiculous to digitize him in. That would be stupid. There's no need to digitize Stan Lee into the movies just to give us a cameo. But somebody said Deadpool should take the place of Stan Lee in the Marvel Cinematic Universe cameos. Because, when you think about it, Deadpool breaks that fourth wall. He always has. He lives in our world and his world, more or less, or he's conscious of our world in his world, in all of his worlds, because Deadpool is in every Marvel Cinematic Universe. Or, I mean, he's in every Marvel universe, every Earth that Marvel has ever created, there's a Deadpool in them. And someone had said that they should replace Stan Lee with Deadpool for the cameos, and I think that's a great idea. I think that would be really cool. And it doesn't have to necessarily be Deadpool as Deadpool. It could just be Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool in regular clothes with his avocado face and just being the delivery guy or whatever. Him just being there, because he essentially he would be no matter. And Disney, I think, owns all of that now, so I think that would be really cool. I think that'd really be cool. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Or play Stanley cameo like a movie or poster or such, but Deadpool would be better. Yeah, a movie, a poster, comic book, or something along that line to remind us of Stanley. But we get a kick out of the cameo. We look for the cameo. We crave the cameo. And help me, guys. What movie was it that he didn't do a cameo in? Or was one of them he didn't do a cameo in? And I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, Stanley's definitely going to be missed. Stan was in the one X-Men movie. He was the guy watering his lawn. That wasn't an X-Men movie. That was that an X-Men movie? Blade. He wasn't in any of the Blade movies. It's faded. All characters are now back in Marvel. Soon Spidey will be back too. That's the plan of Marvel. Oh, it is. They had to sell him because they were losing money. I think it was the '90s that they were losing their ass, and so they had to break him up and sell the movie rights to get him. Sony holds on to Spidey, and Sony holds a tight leash. And Sony isn't one of those that likes to give up. Uh, so seeing Spidey back is going to be tough, but Sony has proven to us that they're not stupid. All character, and so I think that because Sony allowed Spidey to be in the Civil War and in Infinity War, and I think Sony realized that that was a good thing because they made a ton of money from that creation. So I don't think that they're going to sign over the rights to Disney in that regards. Although Disney can be very persuasive, Sony is very stubborn. So the two giants fighting over Spidey, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think Universal at one point had some Spidey rights too, didn't it? I ordered that Venom too, and I did join the movie, and it's made by Bullethead, the Venom figure. It's their third figure that they've ever made. The Bullethead number 3 is Venom. They should do a Garfield Spidey in Venom. Really? Do you see now? Let me tell you, Avi Arad was pretty much the executive control over the first 3 Spider-Mans of Tobey Maguire. and the writer slash director, what the heck was his name? He was had the idea for 5 Spider-Man movies. Of course, we ended up getting 5, but they weren't what the original plan was. So after Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire and Venom, which was a disaster, the Spider-Man 4 was supposed to be the Sinister Six because we already had Doc Ock, we already had who did we have also? Sandman. We already had some of the Sinister Six already there. Our Jr. contract ends for real. My heart breaks to think who is the new Iron Man after Endgame. Hold that thought. I'll get back to that. They were supposed to continue on. Now, so there was supposed to be a 4th and a 5th movie. The Sinister Six was supposed to be revealed in the 4th movie. Of the Sinister Six, Mysterio was going to be in that, and that was going to have Bruce Campbell, who was related to the writer slash director of the first 3 Iron Man movies. What is his name? I don't remember. Spider-Man movies, whatever his name is, I don't remember. But he's related to Bruce Campbell. And so Bruce Campbell was supposed to play Mysterio. If you remember, Bruce Campbell was in every one of the first 3 movies. He was the ring announcer in Spider-Man 1. He was the guy that stood outside of the play that Mary Jane was performing in and kept Spidey-Man out of the play. And he was the maitre d' at the French restaurant when Spidey was going to propose to Mary Jane to marry her. And so he had multiple jobs, and each one of them involved Peter Parker, and there's always some type of a disaster in regards to Peter Parker. And Mysterio also had a hatred for Peter Parker, and he was also an out-of-work actor, and he couldn't really keep a job, yada, yada, yada. Bruce Campbell was supposed to be Mysterio. And Venom was supposed to be alive in San Francisco. You following me? With the Life Foundation and Carnage and the entire Venom symbiotes. So all of these were already in works with Sony Pictures back in the beginning with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans with episodes 4 and 5. So now we get Venom. He's in San Francisco. Avi Arad is back in charge of things. So I think what we're getting is a continuation of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man storyline, just tweaked a little bit to be with today's standards. So I think that continuation is coming on. I don't think he lost his steam in the creation of the Spider-Man stories back then. It's just that Spider-Man 3 was just done so poorly. It was just so badly done that it just killed it for everybody, and that's why they kind of did the reboot with Andrew Garfield. I'm not an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fan. I've seen those movies, but I didn't get the connection between Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and I'm sorry that I missed that, but that's how that goes. So the question that you asked was, who's going to be the Iron Man? I mean, Star Trek had Voyager, DS9, and Enterprise, right? Why not 2 Spideys in 2 different movies? Sure, they did Spider-Verse, MCU and Venom universe. I think that Venom is in the MCU universe, by the way, and not Miles introduced him later or keeping him in the Spider-Verse movie, introduced Peter first. I think that Venom is in the MCU universe. That's my opinion. I think that's why they did Venom the way they did do Venom, was because Spider-Man was so definitive. But I think it's all together. I think Sony is not stupid, and I think they're walking hand in hand with Kevin Feige's MCU creation. Who do I think is going to be the new Iron Man? There was only one in the comics. Well, there were 2 in the comics that did Iron Man. One was Iron Man, Tony Stark. The other one was Don Cheadle's character, Rhodes, wore Iron Man suits. Obviously, we've seen that. Pepper Potts had her rescue suits. But the continuation of Iron Man was only that young girl, which a lot of people didn't care for. But how do I think that might play out? If it had to be, if push came to shove, if it was all or nothing at all in regards to Tony Stark being stranded in that spaceship floating around in the universe somewhere, God knows where. Um, Shuri from the Black Panther. She's the only one really that has the same type of technology, the same type of genius thought process. And I think that she would be the next Iron Man if it were to be that case. Um, and she might be who it is who gets the Avengers ready to go rescue Tony Stark in regards to things, because obviously Pepper is very well aware of things. She's a CEO of Stark Industries, but she's not the genius that Tony is. She's told him time and time again that she can't do the job. But I think it'll be Shuri who will don the Iron Man mantle as per se. But I'll say this. I think you think it'll be Rocket. That'd be cool. I think what's going to happen is they're going to go rescue Tony, and somehow they're going to get time travel devices, because we see them walking around in New York in the Avengers movie wearing something very similar to this on their hands. And I think they're going to go back in time to the Marvel Avengers timeline and stop the Chitauri invasion and stop Thanos then, to keep him from acquiring the stones. And I think what that's going to do is, as we know in Star Trek, it creates a new timeline altogether. So Earth 199999, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, will cease to exist as we know it when Thanos snapped his fingers and removed half of everyone. And what's going to happen is, from the moment that they time travel back to the Avengers, is there's going to be a new storyline or timeline created from that point forward where everybody lives. So that gives you the opportunity of which one of these Earths that you'll be able to watch. So if they do continuations of Spider-Man or such, they would be along that timeline. And that's when it gets real confusing, because it's kind of like with Star Trek, where they've mucked with the timeline so much that who knows even where they are anymore in regards to all of that. Yeah, I think Rocket's going to lead the charge. I think it's going to be Rocket with Pepper Potts and Hulk, and they're all going to find Tony. It's definitely Pepper, and it's definitely Rocket, and I'm almost positive it's the Hulk as well that go with them to get Tony. I don't know who else is going to go with them, but it's definitely those three. You think Chris Pine too? No, he died, didn't he? Didn't they kill Star Lord at the end of? Yeah, everyone died. Everyone died except Tony. So Star Lord died. Her new Picard show is after destruction of Romulus. Sounds interesting. It is. So it follows along that storyline. The new Picard does, and Patrick Stewart told us that it's not the Picard that we remember. He says, don't hold on to what, more or less, don't hold on to your emotions or your specifications in regards to how things are supposed to be, because it's not going to be exactly the same thing that you've always expected Picard to do or be. So it is going to be interesting to see how that turns out. War Machine is going to rock with Tony in game. I think, you know what? I think he's going to be another one that's going to go with him. So the ones that'll be there, I think it'll be Pepper and Hulk and War Machine and Rocket. Maybe Thor will be the ones to go rescue Tony. That's who I think it'll be. For fact. So he's a loser like Luke. Chris Pine? Don't know what you mean there. I don't know what you mean there. But, you guys got anything else for me? I think I'm going to wrap this up unless you guys have anything else on your mind that you want to talk about. Oh, what the hell is this? Oh, I see what that is. War Machine will have a proton cannon. Yeah, I heard the same thing. I sure did. I don't know what that means, Robert. Picard will be a loser like Luke. I assume you mean Luke Skywalker, but I don't know what you mean. You mean like how they changed Luke? Because Luke in 4, 5, and 6 was badass, and then Luke in 7 and 8 was not? Is that what you mean? And Picard was definitely a badass? Yeah. Kind of like how he did in Logan, you mean? Patrick Stewart's character did in Logan, give up on life? I don't know. I'm not 100% thrilled with the new Picard coming out. It's not like I'm jumping up and down. I was at first, but then as I started looking more into it, I was like, ugh, this doesn't sound as good as I thought it would. So we will see. But guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Let you all go. Thank you again so much for sticking with me. So terribly sorry about all the technical difficulties today. And she seems to be, the norm anymore. I'm so sorry about that, guys. But again, thank you so much for sticking with me. I really enjoy sharing my collection with you, and I really enjoy chatting with you guys. And you're so dedicated for watching me. And I love every one of you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you very much. And I'm here every Saturday, same time, same bat channel. So tune in next week, and I will see you guys then. Yes, be well and take care. You too. I love you guys. Love every one of you. And you can always email me or whatever you want to do, okay? And see you all on the next video.